when you add Kaman in the middle, I mean, he's a guy that's 7'2" with a 7'6" wingspan. He's athletic, obviously long. He's going to change shots, block shots, control the glass, and it'll be a real challenge for Hunter and Flory, because we've seen Hunter struggle against athletic big guys, and that's exactly what they're going to throw at him today, and they won't have to double as long as he doesn't get into foul trouble. So Hunter needs to go right at his chest, try to pick up a couple quick ones on him, and go from there.
All right, have a great call tonight, Greg Gurley. That'll do it for our show. Thanks to our guest, David Shumate from the voice of the Blue Devils. For producer-engineer Stephen King, courtside studio engineer Maurice Jones, this is David Lawrence. For Sean Kemmerman, stay tuned. We'll come back. Duke and Kansas, Rock Chalk, Jayhawk.
Go all out and harder than ever in a Toyota Tundra. 2024 models now 1.99% APR for 60 months. Does not include $4.99 admin fee. See dealer for details. Offer ends 12/2/24. Supporting KU.com.
I had this patient. His cancer treatment had him in the hospital for a while. One day we learned his grandson's prom was coming up, so secretly we arranged for him and his date to stop by. I'll never forget that night, the smile on my patient's face, the hug that didn't want to end. Sometimes I wonder if I'm doing all I can. Then I help make a moment like that happen, and I know I am.
The University of Kansas Cancer Center. Why would you go anywhere else?
The Kansas Jayhawks are proud to partner with the Drive to Zero Coalition, who invites you to join Jayhawk fans with a plan. It's simple. If you're going to be drinking, hop on SafeRock, use your favorite rideshare app, or plan ahead for your designated driver. True Blue Jayhawks don't drink and drive. Together, KU fans with a plan can prevent serious crash injuries and fatalities. This message is brought to you by the Kansas Department of Transportation and all the victims of impaired driving crashes.
Big trip on the horizon? Before you depart, you gotta park. The Parking Spot is a simpler, easier way to navigate airport parking. And you can save when you book online. You're guaranteed a spot, and we even pick you up at your trunk in our yellow and black spotted shuttles and take you straight to the terminal. Parking and saving come full circle at The Parking Spot. The Parking Spot, proud sponsor of KU. Visit theparkingspot.com to reserve your spot today.
Looking to elevate your next event? Introducing Uplift Coffee's new catering services. Perfect for company events, family get-togethers, or whatever event you're planning. Treat your guests to your choice of specialty coffee and non-coffee drinks, delicious food options, and in-house pastries straight from our own bakery. Pickup and delivery options available. Visit upliftcoffeeshop.com to place your catering order today.
Business.
Good. Are you up to speed with the new beneficial ownership reporting requirements?
Sort of. What's it about?
It's a new initiative to help fight crimes like money laundering, fraud, and drug trafficking. A lot of small businesses like ours just have to report some basic info to the federal government about the real people behind them.
Reporting your company's beneficial ownership information is quick, secure, and free. And it helps protect U.S. national security. Learn more at fincen.gov/BOI.
This is McGruff the Crime Dog, and I need you to help me take a bite out of crime. Another teenager, victim to fake pills bought from social media. This doesn't seem like a drug deal, but it definitely is. Should buying prescription pills be that easy? Many fake pills contain fentanyl, and an amount small enough to fit on the tip of a pencil can be lethal. So listen, before buying pills from social media, think again. Learn more at mcgruffpsa.org and go for real. Brought to you by USPTO and the National Crime Prevention Council.
Yes! I finally got my first phone!
It is exciting. Let's learn a few things about online safety first.
We can secure our world. Online security depends on you and me. Install updates, make better passwords. Think before you click, use multiple factors. That's how we can secure our world.
Learn more at CISA.gov/secure our world.
This is Kansas Jayhawk basketball.
Beware of the fog, but believe in yourself.
You're tuned into the Delta Dental Jayhawks Shoot-Around on the Jayhawks Sports Network from Learfield.
My goodness, he throws it down. The rip and run, the hammer dunk, and the field house roaring. Wide open for three. He hit it.
The Delta Dental Jayhawks Shoot-Around is brought to you by the University of Kansas Health System, the official healthcare provider of Kansas Athletics, together with LMH Health, the Kansas Department of Insurance, reminding you to have a game plan before you invest. Help is available at smartinvestks.com. The Kansas Lottery. Download the Play On app and dream bigger. And by Delta Dental of Kansas. Unleash your smile power. Learn more about individual and family plans at deltadentalks.com.
Oh, here we go. Here's a lob and a slam.
Coming up, we'll count down to tip-off and hear the exclusive pregame thoughts of head coach Bill Self. Now, let's go live courtside with the voice of the Jayhawks, Brian Haney.
From T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, home of the Golden Knights of the NHL, and side of tonight's Vegas showdown between Kansas and Duke. Sweeping east, back home to the Sunflower State, Kansas Jayhawk basketball is on the air. Good evening, everybody, and thanks for joining us on the Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield. Alongside Greg Gurley and producer-engineer Steve Kincaid, I'm Brian Haney. Tonight, your top-ranked Kansas Jayhawks face their toughest challenge yet in a blue-blooded battle here on the Strip with number 10 Duke. John Shire's Blue Devils are loaded with five-star talent. In fact, all 5 of Duke's starters were ranked as five-star recruits within their respective classes. And according to Coach Self, this might just be the tallest and longest team in America. Kansas, though, is similarly gifted, clearly older and maybe a bit quicker. But will that be enough to top this uber-talented Duke squad headlined by a generational talent in Cooper Flagg? Well, that's what we're here to see tonight in what looks to be KU's best measuring stick game in an absolutely loaded non-conference slate. Greg, it may not be your traditional holiday tournament format this year for Kansas, but Bill Self is getting exactly what he wanted out of this experience. A showcase against one of the most talented teams in America, something that should prove to be great experience for these Jayhawks.
Yeah, 100%. He doesn't mind measuring stick games. That's exactly what this is. We've already had a couple of those. Started with Arkansas, then North Carolina and Michigan State. Obviously struggled against Arkansas, came back strong, and this will be our toughest test. Most talented team we played, deepest team, longest team, but, you know, it's going to be age versus youth and athleticism, you know, and it's something that we should be able to have the upper hand just to how we play the game, but sometimes, you know, scoring beats good defense, and that's what Duke can really do a good job of, so we got to make it difficult for them, can't allow them any easy buckets, and, you know, the one thing that young teams do is they have the propensity to turn the ball over, and so heat them up defensively, try to get some easy buckets, be patient on defense, and really get on the glass, because as you mentioned, it is definitely the tallest team we played all year.
No doubt. Cooper Flagg, he's 6'9", but the real length comes in the form of Kaman Maluach, a guy that Kansas recruited, much like they did Cooper Flagg, but Maluach is 7'2" with a 7'5" wingspan. His standing reach is more than 9 feet. So he's absolutely a giant underneath. But back to Flagg. We're going to talk to Coach Self in a second. He's mentioned names this week like Anthony Davis, 2012 at Kentucky, or say Kevin Durant, going back to the early 2000s at Texas, as immediate impact freshmen that were generationally gifted, and Cooper Flagg maybe being cut from a similar cloth. In your estimation, where does he stack up in the best incoming freshman you've seen in the last 30 years of college basketball?
You know, it's hard because we're only 5 games in. I think that story's yet to be written. I don't think you can compare him to Kevin Durant. He's just different. But Cooper Flagg, I don't know what the comparable is, but I do know what he can do, and he can hurt you from every spot on the floor, underneath, on the break. He's got it all. It's just a question of can you get into his head? It doesn't seem like you can because he seems unflappable. He's just a very composed guy. That's what makes him so good. And he's what I like, and I know that's what Bill likes. He's got a little cockiness to him.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind talking a little bit and getting after it and seeing where he's at.
Unflappable, but he's still only 17 years of age. He's not having any fun in Vegas this week.
Hunter just turned 24 yesterday. Think about that.
How crazy is that, right? That's funny. Well, we'll talk more about Cooper Flagg here in just a bit with Bill Self, but straight ahead, Flory Bidunga. Speaking of five-star, very talented freshman, he's a top 10 guy in his own right, and he will be playing tonight, by the way. Rolled an ankle late in the first half a week ago versus UNC Wilmington. According to Coach Self, he would have been able to practice the very next day, but he had to get a wisdom tooth pulled, and so he ended up missing a couple of days in the middle of last week. But he's good to go tonight, and he'll come your way when we return on the Equity Bank Jayhawks Sports Network from Learfield.
Performance is required whether it's on the football field or on the hardwoods of Allen Fieldhouse. It's what makes a champion. BMW of Topeka is the home of performance, professionalism, and customer support and service for KU grads and supporters. We have the selection, the knowledge, and we understand the BMW Performance Playbook. Whether you are driving for a touchdown, a layup, or to the store or school, BMW of Topeka is there for you. 3030 South Kansas Avenue or online at bmwtopeka.com.
They say tomorrow is always coming, but never arrives. It's always just beyond today. Not true when it comes to internet. Tomorrow's technology is already here. We'll need solutions that are even faster, smarter, and more secure. So let's go. Let's go to a place where Midco Internet connects you to all the possibilities of tomorrow. That's where we're going today. Midco. Let's go beyond.
And now an important message from our coaches' wives.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis,
988 provides direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support.
you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns and connect you to additional resources if needed.
There is hope.
You are not alone. For 24/7 non-judgmental support,
call, text, or chat 988.
It's time now to hear from a Jayhawk player in the Midco Player Profile. Ready for the future? Midco is, and they can power home or business with multi-gig internet speeds. Explore more at midco.com.
Tonight on our pregame player profile, we catch up with Kansas freshman big man Flory Bidunga. The Jayhawks get set to face the Duke Blue Devils, and great to see you back on your feet, moving around great. You had a heck of a week last week between the ankle roll and having a wisdom tooth pulled. Man, you had some kind of week.
Yeah, it was kind of tough, to just watch all the practicing and then just me right there watching them, sitting and cheering them. But yeah, I'm definitely glad to have to practice with them again, and then I'm excited for the game for sure.
Which was worse, having the tooth pulled or that ankle roll?
I say it was loved both, because with tooth-wise, couldn't really talk really good. Even eating was kind of hard. And then my ankle, I'd say it's much better than when you was just like getting some treatment and stuff. So.
Speak to that side of it. A lot of folks don't see Cheddar, Bill Cowgill, at work, but when you went back in the locker room and you were back there for 30 minutes, what all goes on in that process?
He was comforting me about it's okay, we're just doing some training. He was trying to get me back and then see if anything's wrong or not. Yeah, he did do really a good job of doing it. It's like he been here for a long time in Kansas, so he pretty much knows everything. And then just having him next to me while I was going through that process was really helpful.
I bet it was. Well, 5 games into your Jayhawk career, things are going great for both you individually and the team, shooting 83% from the field. 14 of your 19 makes have been on dunks. Tell me about the start you're off to and your confidence right now.
Just keep my head up. Obviously, there's greatest team out there. Just have to do your best, obviously, push through on every challenge, just give your best, and then just think about next play. So that's what I'm thinking about most of the time.
What have Kansas fans yet to see from your game that's still in there? We just haven't had a chance to show it yet.
I would say I feel like he can play even harder. I would say, with good pace, just bring much energy again, running even harder on the floor. So I feel like those kind of stuff, which I can really improve, I think that can help the team, and then I'm looking forward for it.
Tonight you get a big-time matchup with the Duke Blue Devils. I'm guessing you went back and forth with Cooper Flagg a decent amount on the AAU circuit. What's your history with him and some of these other highly touted Blue Devil rookies?
Oh, yeah, I would say we played a couple matchup against some of the Blue Devil team because there's a lot of freshmen over there too. I pretty much know most of them, so we kind of like play each other's and then develop this kind of habits. But I'm looking forward, to get on the floor against them again and compete.
And what's it been like working with Hunter Dickinson, having a chance to learn from him as a fifth-year player, and what in particular has he taught you?
Oh, man, I'll say that's a great model, huh? He's really good, I talk to him a lot, ask him about anything on the court, advising, and then everything that he does, I'm trying to steal it, if I can say, just keep it for me. I'm pretty sure that will help me for my future.
Before I let you go, when we were in Fayetteville, you taught me how to correctly pronounce Bidunga. Say it for our listeners out there so everybody can say it right. And then tell me about your family roots going back to the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I feel like many people get it confused because I feel like, my name is an American name. It's from the DRC, so it's Bidunga. But, yeah. And then my family doing pretty good. They're kind of supporting me all along, big support. Even though, I haven't seen them for like 4 years, but still FaceTiming a lot, letting them know about the game, about how that goes. They kind of ask me for videos about how I play, about the campus where I stay and stuff like that. So they've always been with me, even though they're not here.
Will they get to come up at any point this year, maybe during March Madness?
Oh, for sure. That would be a great, that's a plan. That would be a great surprise for sure.
Man. Flory, we're so glad you're here. Best of luck tonight, and again, continued success.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Flory Bidunga joining us on the Jayhawks Sports Network. More pregame coming up right after this on the Equity Bank Jayhawks Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Jayhawk fans, Coach Self here. When I prepare for a game, I always do my homework. Investing is no different. That's why you should visit smartinvestks.com, an investor empowerment initiative from the Kansas Department of Insurance. Smartinvestks.com is here to coach you on how to avoid investment fraud by chalking up the offensive and defensive X's and O's. Have a game plan before you invest. Visit smartinvestks.com.
Just like Bill Self and his coaching staff place their best players in the right positions for success, so does the Brush Group with their multifaceted marketing team of Sun Graphics, Don Levy Litho, and Brush Art Corporation. Sun Graphics is the proud printing partner of Kansas Athletics and is known for marketing support that is nothing short of exceptional. Make sure you are scoring with all your marketing efforts by contacting Sun Graphics today. Proud sponsor of Kansas Athletics.
Time to hear from the head coach himself. Part 1 of our pregame visit with Bill Self is presented by LMH Health. Visit LMH.org.
Well, Coach, welcome to Vegas. Second annual Vegas Showdown, and kind of a different format for a Feast Week holiday tournament. A one-game showcase out here, then you go back on campus. Do you like this style? Do you prefer more of a bracket format? What's your thought?
Oh, you know what? I don't know. I like it because we're playing Duke.
Yeah.
You look at these other tournaments. There's the Players Era tournament going on right now, and it's an 8-team tournament, back to back to back, which is great. There's nothing wrong with it. You look at Maui, which is great. The great games have been fantastic. But the reality of it is, even in that Players Era tournament, it's $1 million for NIL per each team, the way that I understand it. So that's $1 million over 3 days minus expenses. But you're losing 2 potential home games. So with the way we're doing it now, we get whatever we make off the game, $500-700, I don't know. Then you get 2 home games in addition to that. So it's financially, it's just not as feasible to be playing these games, I don't think. And I know my administrative staff feels the same way. It's just the way that we're doing this one, I think is the way of the future, to be quite honest. And then we get to play Furman on Saturday, who's actually good.
I think it's good, but the best thing about this is not to look at it like a tournament. The best thing about this, look at it, we get a chance to play Duke on a neutral site.
Absolutely. And as you said, Furman receiving votes right now. Tell me about your team. After tonight, you'll almost be a full month in. In what ways are you where you hoped you would be, and what are some other areas you hope to be gaining on?
You know what? I think we made some progress in some areas, and then I think we're still a ways off. I mean, sometimes I told our team, sometimes I think we're close, and sometimes I don't think we're close at all, because there's some things that we got to do. We got to get a couple of guys comfortable. You know, Shaq's going to be out for a while indefinitely, which is surprising to us, but his foot just hadn't responded in the manner in which we thought it would. He's going to be out for a while, so we can't count on that in the immediate future. So we'll be playing with the three guards we got, and then, which is fine. That's plenty good enough. But now AJ and Ryland have to play a significant role and be really good in that role. And then you still got KJ, obviously, and you got Hunt and Flo. So I think we're getting closer. I just don't think that it seems like to me, we got 4 out of the 5, 80% out there that you're thinking, okay, we're close. But that one person, and it could be a different guy each and every possession, just isn't quite on board to the point where they could make a possession not look near as good. And it could be KJ or Hunt or Juan, but in most situations, it's just new guys getting comfortable.
Sure. There'll be time for that, no doubt. Well, you gave the update on Shaq Moore. On a positive note, great to see Flory Bidunga back out there. What's the latest on his status?
He's fine. Flory could have practiced the next day. Flory had to have a wisdom tooth extracted because it got infected, so that kept him from going contact for 2 days. But which is probably good for his ankle too. Yeah. But no, he's fine. There's no limitations there.
Good deal. That's great to hear. When we come back, we'll break down John Shire's team, the Duke Blue Devils, right after this on the Equity Bank Jayhawks Sports Network from Learfield.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with Hank and Sam from the Ford crew. Today, a new shipment of inventory.
Hank, what's going on?
Another hauler full of new Ford trucks and SUVs, Sam.
So much SUV capability. Is that?
Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 47 years. And a big selection means...
big savings?
Yep, which means...
it's the best time to buy?
Well done, Sam. And time for America to get holiday ready with Ford.
Based on 1977 to 2023 CY Industry reported total sales.
Hey Jayhawk fans, it's Coach Self. Here at Kansas Athletics, we know success isn't accomplished alone. It's all about the team. That's why we are proud to team up with Ameritrust Credit Union, the official financial well-being partner of Kansas Athletics. Team Ameritrust knows that every play matters and every moment leads to a winning game plan. They have the resources you need to save, spend, borrow, and plan along your financial journey. Stop by a Ameritrust location today or visit ameritrustcu.org. Together, it's a win. Rock Chalk.
Put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always sing with me. So put your phone on D&D. That means that do not disturb when you're driving. And when you're going from point A to B, I need you to stay safe, please, so always remember this beat.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says,
avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Get ready for more with head coach Bill Self. Once again, here's Brian Haney.
We continue our pregame conversation with head coach Bill Self and take a closer look at number 10, Duke. I know in the last week you've been asked a lot about Cooper Flagg, and folks asking, is he the most impressive high school talent since Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant? There's been some big names thrown about. How special is he, and what makes him so unique?
Well, he is good. I mean, he's good. I mean, everybody tried. We definitely tried to recruit him. You know, we made his final three, but that was it. He's not a scorer like KD. No. but does he do everything else in a way? He can be a facilitator. He's an elite shot blocker. He's a terrific rebounder. He brings it on the break as well as any guard. He can slide. He can switch five. There's a lot of things about him that you look at. If you just look at a pure basketball player, he check a lot of boxes. He's really good, but it's not us against Cooper Flagg. It's got to be, Kansas against Duke, and they got other players that can score too. And one thing about great players, they get so much attention many times, which allow their other players to even be better than advertised, because they get a lot easier opportunities a lot of times. And so we got to guard all five of them, but they do have three really, really good freshmen.
No doubt. Yeah, I was just going to ask of the other guys, Knipple, Foster, Proctor, a lot of 5-stars in there.
Come on. And come on, we recruited come on hard, and at 7'2" and his length, he's really advanced for a young kid as well. So they got a good team. They're a team that's going to continue to get better. I would say right now, and I can't, of course I don't know, not talking to their staff, but I would say defensively they're probably a little ahead of what they are offensively. Defensively, I think they're rated the number one defense in the country right now, and they rebound the ball at such an elite clip. They dominated Arizona on the glass, and Arizona was the number one, I think, going into that game. So we're going to have to be really good on the glass, and we got them. Keep them out of transition, and then of course we've got to do a good job on individuals and guard their actions, and then when it really gets down to it, can we close out and make them not be shooters from beyond the arc off the catch, but still yet keep them in front of us. That's going to be probably as big a key as there is.
You just touched on the keys, so we'll close with this. Is this your toughest challenge yet?
Yes. I think so. Now, you could make a case for Carolina when those three guards get playing downhill. And we saw last night, even against Dayton, down 21, and that was nothing for them. And Dayton's got a good team, as our fans should remember some of those games we had with them just going back a few years. They've got an elite team like that. But Duke, to me, they're the tallest team in America. Yeah. Kaman's wingspan's 7'6". Yeah. Cooper's is 7'1" or 7'2", and then they're starting 6'7", 6'5", 6'5". I mean, they're a big team. Now, a key would be, does speed negate size? Mm-hmm. So we have to play very, very quick. Don't have to play like shoot it fast, but we have to play up under them, and hopefully our speed can offset their length.
All right, it's going to be fun to see. Coach, thanks so much. Best of luck.
Thank you.
That's head coach Bill Self. More pregame coming up on the Equity Bank Jayhawks Sports Network from Learfield.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with Hank and Sam from the Ford crew. Today, a new shipment of inventory.
Hank, what's going on?
Another hauler full of new Ford trucks and SUVs, Sam.
So much SUV capability. Is that?
Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 47 years. And a big selection means...
big savings?
Yep, which means...
it's the best time to buy?
Well done, Sam. And time for America to get holiday ready with Ford.
Based on 1977 to 2023 CY Industry reported total sales.
Do you have a reason to smile? If you have healthy teeth, you definitely do. And if you're covered by Delta Dental of Kansas, you have another reason to smile. Delta Dental of Kansas has many fabulous dental insurance coverage plans with a range of options to fit your life. You decide what you need. The whole process is so super easy. Plus, Delta Dental has the largest network of dentists in the entire nation. Yep, another reason to smile. Go to deltadentalks.com and click on Shop for Insurance to get started.
Ma, is this how you feed a hamster?
I think so.
Is my homework right?
I think so.
Is, this milk still good?
I think so.
When it comes to parenting, sometimes it's okay to think you know. But when it's something as important as your child's car seat, don't just think. Know. Double check if your child is in the right seat for their age and size. It'll help protect them in a car crash. Don't just think. Know by visiting nhtsa.gov/the right seat. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Back in live at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Kansas and Duke about T-minus 10 minutes away. It's time for Greg Gurley and his keys to a Kansas win. It's our Have a Game Plan segment. Greg, a lot of length, ton of size on this Duke team. What are the keys in combating that?
Well, when we break guys down and we get to the rim, understand about that length. And I'm talking to Diggy and DeJuan. Penetrate to pitch. You know, every once in a while challenge, but they got some length, like we talked about. So understand that they're going to go for it, find guys in the corner. This year we have shooters, penetrate to pitch, and then things will come more naturally when they don't try to block everything, because Kaman's a guy that is going to try to block everything. Utilize the shot fake. Be patient on defense. Understand that the way Duke runs things, they like to run a lot of ball screens, and that's something we've struggled with. So we have to do a good job on ball screens. Don't always just go under, and be careful with Hunter switching off on one of their four guards.
That's our Have a Game Plan segment, brought to you by the Kansas Department of Insurance, who reminds you to make a game plan at smartinvestks.com.
Starting lineups are coming up next. This is the Jayhawks Sports Network from Learfield.
This is Coach Bill Self. We're used to talking about all things basketball, but right now I want you to hear these 4 important words about the growing crisis of drug overdose. One pill can kill. Kansans are dying every week from drugs laced with deadly fentanyl. Please educate your loved ones to steer clear of street drugs, never buy pills online without a prescription, and always use a reputable pharmacy. Just one pill can kill.
It takes hard work to be the best in the game. Planning, commitment, resilience, sweat. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of Kansas Athletics, helping the world keep promises.
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Las Vegas here at the T-Mobile Center. Getting ready to take on the Duke Blue Devils. Your starting lineups for the Blue Devils with John Shire, Caleb Foster, Tyrese Proctor, Con Knipple, Kaman Malowich, and then Cooper Flagg. Everybody's talking about him, and they should. He's really, really good. The Jayhawks go with starting lineup of DeJuan Harris, A.J. Storr, Hunter Dickinson, Zeke Mayo, and K.J. Adams. This has been the Delta Dental Jayhawks Shoot-Around. The opening tip is next right here on the Jayhawks Sports Network from Learfield.
LMH Health is pleased to announce that the Ortho Kansas team has earned another clinical milestone, the Joint Commission's Gold Seal of Approval for Advanced Total Hip and Knee Replacement Certification. The certification recognizes the highest standards of care during a total hip and total knee replacement, and LMH is one of 2 Kansas hospitals to earn this honor. Get to know the Ortho Kansas team by visiting lmh.org/Ortho Kansas. Ready to schedule an appointment? Give them a call at 785-843-9125. LMH Health, a partner for lifelong health.
Hi, we're your friends who get super excited about the holidays.
We sure are, or this isn't the ugliest holiday sweater ever.
People think we're happy because we love peppermint lattes.
Or catching snowflakes on our tongues.
But really, it's because
it's Holiday Millionaire Raffle Season!
It's your best odds to win $1 million.
That's dollars, not twinkling lights, but that would be great too.
Play the Kansas Lottery Holiday Millionaire Raffle. Get excited.
See kslottery.com for details.
It takes hard work to be the best in the game. Planning, commitment, resilience, sweat. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of Kansas Athletics, helping the world keep promises.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with Hank and Sam from the Ford crew. Today, a new shipment of inventory.
Hank, what's going on?
Another hauler full of new Ford trucks and SUVs, Sam.
So much SUV capability. Is that?
Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 47 years. And a big selection means...
big savings?
Yep, which means...
it's the best time to buy?
Well done, Sam. And time for America to get holiday ready with Ford.
Based on 1977 to 2023 CY Industry reported total sales.
Oh, did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
It's a top 10 tilt in Viva Las Vegas tonight as #1 Kansas collides with #10 Duke. A blue-blooded heavyweight bout here on the Strip. Kansas has raced out to a 5-0 start with 2 prestigious wins already in tow, having knocked off North Carolina and Michigan State earlier in the month. Duke, meanwhile, is 4-1, but riding high after a convincing 14-point road win at #17 Arizona. AU's most recent victory was a full week ago versus UNC Wilmington, the 800th win in the Hall of Fame career of Bill Self.
Harris up the floor, transition bucket is good, and the foul. Some fancy dribbling in transition, and the and one to boot. Griffin steps through, finds Hunt, two-hand slammer. Or that goal is still shaken on the two-hand throwdown by Dickinson. A lob, Storr, a slam. Storr came soaring in, and the feed from Wando was right on the money. Jayhawks are going to win this game. You can rock. Chalk it up, the Jayhawks win number 800 from a Hall of Famer, Bill Self.
That Jayhawk victory kept Kansas perfect, but they'll face perhaps their biggest challenge thus far this year tonight as they take on the projected #1 overall pick in the draft, Cooper Flagg, and his Duke Blue Devils. Duke holds an all-time series lead of 8-5, but KU has won 3 of the last 4 in the series, not including the 2018 Elite 8 win that has since been vacated. So, can these Jayhawks keep their recent roll over the Blue Devils going? Find out next on the Equity Bank Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
It's time to wave the wheat.
Here comes Kansas, right hand layup, good! A magic act defensively.
It's game time.
Right hand layup, good! And KU goes up 4. Drives right side, lobs up, and he throws it down hard. A two-hand jammer. Will he get it off? He does. He missed it. He missed it. You can rock. Chalk it up. The Jayhawks win.
Live play-by-play action of Jayhawk basketball is brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Delta Dental of Kansas. Unleash your smile power. Learn more about individual and family plans at deltadentalks.com. The Kansas Lottery. Download the Play On app and dream bigger. Kansas's 988 hotline, a suicide and crisis lifeline. Call 988-WENDYS, the official hamburger of Kansas Athletics. And by the University of Kansas Health System, the official healthcare provider of Kansas Athletics, together with LMH Health.
Oh my goodness! A two-hand throwdown! He went coast to coast with a posterizing jam.
Now, let's go live courtside alongside Greg Gurley. Here's the voice of the Jayhawks, Brian Haney.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Viva Las Vegas. We are on the Strip just down the road from the Aria in the T-Mobile Arena, home of the Golden Knights of the National Hockey League, the 2023 NHL Stanley Cup champions. And side of tonight's Vegas Showdown. Second year for this event. Used to be the Wooden Legacy Classic. They switched it a couple of years ago. It's put on by ESPN Events. And you heard Bill Self about 20 minutes ago say this might be the new wave of doing holiday tournaments. One showcase game and more home games to earn more money on the home gate to help finance the new era of college athletics when all these guys come under the athletic department payroll starting next year.
Yeah, we're in it. I mean, the new era of college athletics is right, and you're right. Things will be changing, but it's so great to get away from home and have a showcase like this, and the whole country's watching. There's been some really good basketball the last couple days. Probably the craziest, toughest Maui field I've ever seen, which I thought was us last year. But man, those games have been fun to watch. But now we are center stage here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, number 2 UConn has lost twice this week in Maui. Can number 1 Kansas stay perfect tonight? Hunter Dickinson wins the toss and the tap over Maluach of Duke, who has that 7'5" wingspan. Kansas curiously wearing the blue road unis. A.J. Storr drives, misses, but it's tapped home by Hunter Dickinson. He got that left paw up in the air and knocked it in off the glass.
Good job by A.J. Storr, good downhill, taking the big guy away from Hunter. He missed the shot. Hunter got the tip.
I say curiously on the Blues because usually the higher-ranked team is the home team. But Duke in the home whites tonight, Kansas in the road blues. A.J. Storr making his first start in a Kansas uniform. Proctor will try a three. It's good. He's hit over 2 threes, at least 2 threes in each of their 5 games, and this one only took 45 seconds.
You know, the freshmen get a lot of the praise, but man, Proctor can really play. And he's a guy that thought he might be a one and done, but he came back, and he's an experienced scorer.
Now a junior out of Australia. 3-2 Duke here early. Storr on a drive is cut off in the paint, and he's going to be whistled for travel. Our crew here tonight, Tony Padilla, John Gaffney, and Bert Smith, are 3 officials tonight. John Shire wearing a black Nike quarter zip with the Duke logo on the right pec, barking out the play call for his team. The Kansas coaches in navy blue quarter zips from Adidas. They're all wearing gray pants.
Got KJ Adams on Cooper flag. Cooper trying to post him up, and KJ's just so active defensively.
Proctor wants another 3. Missed this one off the front iron. Rebound DeJuan Harris of Kansas.
Got a really clean look that time. Kansas dodged one that time.
Jayhawks attacking from left to right as we view the floor. 3-2 Duke here early. Can Mayo get a 3? You bet he can! Zeke Mayo from the left wing, and Kansas back in front.
Yeah, it's a great sign after a couple of off games offensively. There's a turnover by Cooper Flagg.
He dribbled it off the foot of KJ, up the floor, Juan. Right hand layup, good! DeJuan Harris in transition, and Kansas extends its lead.
All started by KJ's defense, got the steal. It sure looked like DeJuan got hit on that, but he goes up, plays through the contact. Quick 5-0 run by the Hawks.
7-2 Kansas here early, although you wouldn't know it if you were in the arena. There's no scoreboard anywhere here in the T-Mobile Arena. Kind of curious. Foster with the basketball between the circles, waiting on a screen. Steps back, throws off to Knipple on the wing area. Gets it inside the flag, and he knocks it out of bounds off his own knee. That's back-to-back turnovers on Cooper Flagg, who obviously had some big blunders down the stretch versus Kentucky, but still a generational talent overall.
You're right. I just started looking around, and there's not a scoreboard in sight. So are they calling the shot by Foster a 2?
7-3.
7-3.
Proctor 7-3 to score. Proctor on the three. Here's a little stop-and-go move by Storr. Kicks to Hunter for three. He hit it! Hunter Dickinson from straight on, and he is fired up, running down the floor, imploring Jayhawk fans to get to their feet. 10-3 Kansas.
And look at Kansas defense right now, pushing Duke 30 feet away from the basket. They've got nothing going right now offensively.
Maluach, head of the circle, hands off to Knipple. Left side to Maluach, 7 to shoot. Harris gets a hand in, knocks it loose of Foster, but they're going to say last touched by DeJuan. It'll stay with Duke.
Wow, I don't know.
Shoot.
It kind of looked like it went off Foster's leg, but only 6 to shoot. Duke will have it on the sideline.
Obviously not reviewable this early in the half, but bang-bang play will stay with Duke. Kansas leading by 7, and there are a ton of Jayhawk fans here tonight, and they are roaring here early amidst this run. Flag pulls up from 15, misses with a brick over KJ. Rebound Kansas and Zeke Mayo. Here come the Hawks. Dickinson, left side finds Storr. AJ in the lane, puts up a floater. It's good, and the foul. A chance at 3 for Kansas.
An offensive onslaught right now by the Hawks. AJ getting into the defense, took a little bit of a bump by Knipple. He's got an and-one opportunity, and the Hawks are rolling up 12-3.
And it's not just one guy. 4 different Jayhawks combining on the 12 points.
And a 10-0 run over the last minute, 53.
5 for their last 5 in that run. And to be honest with you, when AJ let that one go, I thought it should have been a pass to Hunter, who was setting a screen and rolling down the left side of the lane for an alley-oop. I thought, the pass would have been better, but he completes the three-point play. He hits the floater and the free throw to boot. 13-3 Kansas on an 11-0 run.
Everybody's doing their part. 4 out of the 5 Hawks have scored. KJ bringing it defensively with his assignment on Cooper Flagg. Now they got a switch. Good job by KJ switching back.
Duke stumbles with the ball. Near turnover by James, but he keeps. Right side Knipple for 3. Misses. Rebound Hunter Dickinson with one hand. Here comes Kansas. 13-3 Jayhawks early.
The dead ball timeout can't come fast enough for John Shire.
Former Duke star in his 3rd season, not liking this start for his young group of Blue Devils. Now ball knocked out of bounds off of Duke. It'll stay with Kansas.
How about that start?
We get a timeout on the floor. Bill Self clapping his hands. He's fired up. So are his Jayhawks. It is 13-3 KU.
First half action is brought to you by Ameritrust Credit Union, the official financial well-being partner of Kansas Athletics, proudly serving Jayhawk fans and the Lawrence community, federally insured by the NCAA.
Kansas riding an 11-0 run over the last 2.5 minutes has opened up a 10-point lead on Duke. The only Blue Devil make the 3 by Proctor 40 seconds in. All Kansas here early in Vegas on the Equity Bank Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
Behind my desk in the hospital is a wall of cards, letters, and thank you notes. They're from our patients, their children, their families, expressing thanks for how we've helped them. Every note we get goes right up on that wall. And it doesn't happen often, but whenever I need a reminder that what we do is making a difference for people, I look back at that wall. And immediately, I'm inspired to continue doing all I can.
The University of Kansas Health System. Why would you go anywhere else?
When a KU versus K-State rivalry game begins, emotions run high. Legends are created. School pride hangs in the balance. Memories that last a lifetime will be made. Because each game is the most important game in history. At least until the next one. Get in the game with your chance to win up to $50,000. The Rivalry Riches instant ticket from the Kansas Lottery. See kslottery.com for details.
There are Black Friday deals, and then there are Kohl's Black Friday deals. Where else can you get 40% off Levi's, up to 50% off Sephora fragrances, and home favorites for under $10, all in the same place? And it gets better. You can score extra Kohl's cash with $15 earned for every $50 spent. Get 15% off some of your finds, and save even more with limited time doorbusters, like 50% off toys. Select styles. Offers end November 29th. Coupons do not apply to Levi's and toys. Coupons and Kohl's cash do not apply to Sephora. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
This is 2008 national champion Darnell Jackson, and you're listening to Kansas Jayhawk basketball on the Jayhawk Sports Network. Rock Chalk.
What a start for Kansas here against number 10 Duke. By the way, Hawks officially have won 3 of the last 4, but that doesn't include 2018 in the Elite 8 in Omaha. So really, 4 of the last 5. That game has been vacated, obviously, but it's been quite a roll in the Bill Self era, particularly of late versus Duke. And we're only 4 minutes in, but that roll's continuing tonight.
That game hadn't been vacated in my mind. I'd tell you, one of the greatest performances by a team against a much more talented team in Duke. We're in Omaha, and they had 3 or 4 NBA first-round draft picks, and Malik and Devontae and Svi just dominated that game, Malik especially, and he got named the most outstanding player of the Midwest Regional. And I look at the fact that all Duke did was play to zone, and that fed right into what we wanted to do. The all-time greatest three-point shooting team in the history of Kansas basketball, and you zone them.
KU gets it into Dickinson, and it's immediately tipped out of bounds by a Blue Devil. It'll stay with Kansas. Point being, if that game wasn't vacated, it would be just a 2-game lead for Duke in the all-time series, 8-6. But officially, technically, we're supposed to say 8-5. But Kansas in front right now in this meeting, 13-3, and they have the ball. Mayo steps back on a 3, launches, and hits.
Why not?
My goodness, Kansas on fire here in Vegas.
Wow, Zeke Mayo's got it rolling early and often. His second 3, little step back.
16-3 Kansas. Flag driving out of control, throws it behind him, finds a teammate. Now in the corner, they'll hit a 3, and they get bailed out by Sion James. He's the two-lane transfer.
And that's one of those right there. Kansas did everything right. What do we got here? We got a wet spot over here in the corner, but Kansas did everything right that defensive possession. They all swarmed to Cooper Flag, got a deflection, and in a scrambling defensive mode, they found a shooter in the corner. And if you're Bill Self and his staff, you're like, all right, keep doing that.
He did something a lot of young and experienced players do. He elevated without knowing whether he was going to shoot or pass, or quite frankly, what he was going to do with the ball. And he wildly spun around and threw it over his head to avoid a travel. One pass later, they found James for the corner pocket 3. But what a start for Kansas, 16-6. Right now they're showing the Bill Self career win total on the Jumbotron here.
I think there was a spilled beer over here, right in the, it wasn't Mike Krzyzewski, but someone right by him. As Coach K is here taking in Las Vegas and his Duke Blue Devils.
I know it's not yours because you'd be drinking something stronger. But they're going to bring 2 members of the mop crew out here to tend to that spilled beer. Well, that's Vegas. What you have in the day and age of courtside seats, particularly in this town. So it's interesting. Not that any of our players were partaking of that, but some guys are old enough to gamble. Other guys are not. I asked Jamari McDowell, how's your Vegas experience going? He said, well, I'm too young to do anything. He said, but I like the hotel. It has a lot of cool stuff, and we've just been walking around people watching. Here's a lob, a big-time catch, an even better slam. A.J. Storr comes soaring in to fire it home.
Wow, what a response after the 3 by Duke. They get another easy one right at the rim. A.J. Storr with 5.
Kansas in front 18-6.
And the defensive intensity right now, everything's challenged.
Cooper Flag trying to drive on KJ. KJ's been a problem for him all night. And now what's the ball? Oh my, a hand check on KJ.
Well, and Cooper got away with his left arm kind of wrapping around KJ as a hook, and then they call that, and I don't know what else you can do.
I'll tell you what. The senior, though, right now is in the head of the freshman. And
no question.
His versatility, being able to guard all 5 spots.
And we can't get lazy, though. We got to keep up this intensity, and the guys that come in off the bench have to play with that same level of energy.
Here's a tip by Dickinson, and Kansas unable to corral it.
Yeah, but right there, everything's challenged, every passing lane, the awareness right now. And now Bill Self can bring Ryland Griffin in off the bench and he's going to give KJ a bit of a blow. He did such a good job the first 5 minutes and 20 seconds on Cooper Flag. Now Ryland, well, let's see, looks like it's going to be AJ on Cooper.
They get it into Knipple. Drives around Hunter, goes up and under and down. He's not talked about as much as Malawach and Flagg, obviously, but that's a top 20 incoming freshman. Knipple on the make. Griffin picks up his dribble at the top. Kansas's lead is 10. Now back to Ryland. He'll try a three. Missed it strong. And the rebound cleared by James of Duke.
Yeah, good possession, though. Get a wide open shot by Ryland just off the bench. He'll take it. He had a big one against Michigan State just like that.
Knipple in the lane, leans in, shoots, misses. Rebound, Hunter Dickinson. And then a tie-up. It's going to be Duke ball on the arrow. Boy, Hunter looks good early, Greg. Really, all the Jayhawks do. But comparing this to what we saw in the Champions Classic, which is kind of a similar feel type game, Kansas just looks worlds better 2 weeks later.
Well, offensively in that game, we really struggled except for Hunter. And right now, all 5 guys got it rolling. But it's a long game as AJ just lost Cooper Flagg.
Flagg from 15 connects, and you hope that doesn't get him going. He had been 0 for 1 and with a couple of turnovers.
That's now 3 straight possessions that Duke has scored on. They're starting to get in their groove a little bit.
And now a ball deflected out of bounds by the Blue Devils. It'll stay with Kansas. 18-10, Jayhawks in front. They still haven't figured out the scoreboard here in-house, so now they're putting the ESPN telecast on the Jumbotron so that you can at least use the ESPN scoreboard. This tends to happen whenever we play in pro venues. Harris driving left of the lane, floats, fires, got it to go, and the foul. A chance at 3 for DeJuan Harris.
Well, James was trying to heat DeJuan up, and that's the last thing you want to do to the crafty ball handling DeJuan Harris. He got right around him, always penetrating the pitch, but that time he saw an opening, took a little bump, got it up and off the glass for an and one. We're going to see our first look at Flory. In the last game, turned his ankle. We were a little nervous about that, but all signs point to him being 100%, obviously, and a great 6 minutes by Hunter Dickinson.
No kidding. Dickinson will get a brief breather there on the bench as Harris rattles home the free throw. Kansas in front, now 21-10. Bidunga, number 9 overall in his class. How does he compare to some of these blue chippers for Duke?
Hold on. AJ just went for a steal, and you got to be careful. But
missed 3 in the corner. Rebound Bidunga. It was Gillis on the miss.
The former Purdue Boilermaker, played for a national title last year, but missed the wide open look after AJ gambled.
Storr passes off to Harris between the circles.
Illegal screen on Flory.
Screen on Bidunga.
Yeah, he was moving for sure and just got to. Flory knows it. That was an easy call for this crew.
Flory doesn't have the length that you see with Malawach. A little skinnier too, but similar ceiling. What do you think? Big picture. First a 3 by Knipple that misses short. Rebound tipped about, and Flory Bidunga will come away with it for Kansas. And here come the Hawks, leading 21-10. Mayo crosses over, steps back. 3-pointer launched and missed. Rebound cleared by Flagg of Duke.
Yeah, out of the first trips down the floor in the first 8 minutes, that was probably our first bad shot.
Yeah.
But Zeke had been feeling it.
Duke in the lane. They'll kick it back out in the corner. Knipple for 3. Misses side iron. Duke tried to save it off a Jayhawk, but Bidunga comes up with it. But then he tips it away. Mayo lost the handle, and it's stolen by Duke. Gillis will try a 3. Missed. Rebound Bidunga of Kansas.
Yeah, dodged the bullet there. Thought we had some numbers. Turned it over. Gillis with another open look. He's now 0-2.
A deflected pass goes out of bounds off of Cooper Flagg. The Blue Devils have launched 8 early threes. They've hit just 2 of them.
And that's because Kansas is really packing in the defense and kind of forcing them to shoot from out there. DeJuan Harris will get his first rest of the night at the 12-18 mark to parlay that under 12 timeout to get another couple extra minutes.
Diggy Coit coming in for Kansas. Knipple's the guy you fear the most if he could get his feet set and shoulders square on an open look from 3, but several capable shooters as well. Duke as a team overall, 37% from beyond the arc. Ryland Griffin fakes on a 3, passes back to Coit. Now out to Raquise Passmore, 8 to shoot. Raquise drives, puts up a wild shot. It somehow goes down off the top of the backboard and through. Everything coming up Kansas.
Great call. Wild shot is right. I mean, that almost went over the backboard and went in perfectly.
On the other end, Gillis wide open for three, buried it. Rylan Griffin missed the defensive assignment that time.
What he was doing, he was kind of favoring the double team because Cooper Flagg was posted up, and that allowed Gillis to get a wide look.
23-13 Kansas. Mayo out to Bidunga, head of the circle, tries to pass back to Zeke, but it's sealed off. Griffin collects at the top, his pass deflected. Flory saves it though, and KU will keep. Coit dribbling between his legs twice, 6 to shoot. Tried to get loose on a three, but can't get around. Maluach goes inside to Flory, and he won't get off the shot in time. Boy, Diggy, who's listed at 5'11", but is closer to 5'8", thought he had an open look for three, and then here came a 7'5" wingspan.
Well, and what he probably should have done is just taken it. If you get your shot block, you at least get to live to see another few seconds.
Right.
Tried to get something for Flory, and that was just good defense by Duke.
No doubt, and we'll get a timeout on the floor, but Kansas right now leading early, 23-13, behind some red-hot shooting, 75% from the field.
Unleash your smile power with Delta Dental of Kansas. Learn more about individual and family plans at deltadentalks.com.
We've got 11:11 to go. Make a wish. Kansas in front here in Vegas, 23-13 on number 10 Duke. It's the Equity Bank Jayhawks Sports Network from Learfield.
Performance is required whether it's on the football field or on the hardwoods of Allen Fieldhouse. It's what makes a champion. BMW of Topeka is the home of performance, professionalism, and customer support and service for KU grads and supporters. We have the selection, the knowledge, and we understand the BMW Performance Playbook. Whether you are driving for a touchdown, a layup, or to the store or school, BMW of Topeka is there for you. 3030 South Kansas Avenue or online at bmwtopeka.com.
Just like Bill Self and his coaching staff place their best players in the right positions for success, so does the Brush Group with their multifaceted marketing team of Sun Graphics, Don Levy Litho, and Brush Art Corporation. Sun Graphics is the proud printing partner of Kansas Athletics and is known for marketing support that is nothing short of exceptional. Make sure you are scoring with all your marketing efforts by contacting Sun Graphics today. Proud sponsor of Kansas Athletics.
Hey Jayhawk fans, it's Coach Self. Here at Kansas Athletics, we know success isn't accomplished alone. It's all about the team. That's why we are proud to team up with Meritrust Credit Union, the official financial well-being partner of Kansas Athletics. Team Meritrust knows that every play matters and every moment leads to a winning game plan. They have the resources you need to save, spend, borrow, and plan along your financial journey. Stop by a Meritrust location today or visit meritrustcu.org. Together, it's a win. Rock Chalk.
Welcome back to T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas. Kansas in front 23-13. The Jayhawks are 9 of 12 from the field. They have turned it over 5 times, but one stat you really love against a Duke team that's top 20 in both of the main rebounding statistical categories. You're up 9-2 on the glass right now. Bill Self talked about the importance of the battle on the boards, and he's got to love those early returns because, again, Duke is 17th nationally in rebounds per game, 19th nationally in rebound margin.
Yeah, and they're 5 of 13 from the field, and they've gotten none of them back. No offensive rebounds. So part of defense is getting on the glass, and Kansas doing a good job of that early.
Maluach back in for Duke, 7-2, but Hunter Dickinson back in for Kansas. Dickinson listed at 7-2. Many have wondered, is he closer to 7 flat? What do you think standing side by side with Maluach?
About the same, but obviously that wingspan. And he's not saying much, but he's more athletic than Hunter. But so am I.
Hey now, Hunter off to a nice start, 5 points, 3 rebounds.
We need to clip that out and play that for Hunt.
Don't do that to the man right after his birthday. Here's a deflection by Dickinson and a turnover by Duke.
He shut me up right there, got his hand on it off of the leg. 3rd turnover for Duke, nice pressure defense. And when you have their 7'2" guy 25 feet away from the basket, you've already won.
No doubt. Bill Self able to give some quick coaching to David Coit after the loose ball turnover by Duke. Here comes Kansas with Coit at the point. Jayhawks leading it by 10 early. Passmore dribbling left of the lane. Cut off there by Gillis. Has to spin out and kick it out. Dickinson at the top. Picks up his dribble. Hands off to Diggy. 10 to shoot. Passmore finds KJ. Left short corner. Down to 6. Passmore tries a 3. It's an air ball. Wow. Rebound Duke and Proctor.
Yeah, he had to take it, though. There was about 4 on the clock, but Kansas got to get a better look than that. Rushed late in the clock by Rakis Passmore.
Cooper Flagg on the other end with KJ with him, bounce for bounce. Trap comes. Dickinson gets a hand in and rips it away from Cooper Flagg. A tie-up is whistled first, but what an aggressive attacking defense of these Kansas Jayhawks.
You know, we talk so often about our ball screen defense. That time, the ball screen came and they double-teamed and got the turnover with Hunter with active hands on back-to-back possessions.
Well, it's a long game. We still got 30 minutes to go, but right now the freshman is getting thrown into the deep end of the pool, and he's not exactly swimming well. Kansas feasting on Flagg early. They lob inside to Dickinson, backing his way down, turns, goes up, misses. Contested that time by Malawach, and the rebound to Duke. Up the floor with Foster, driving runner is good. Nearly an offensive goaltend on Malawach, but the bucket's good from Foster, and Duke has cut it to 8. KJ on the other end blows by his man. They kick it out. Diggy fakes on a 3, spins, finds Dickinson. He launches, misses. Rebound Kansas. Back to Dickinson. Little floater, misses. And Dickinson misses his last 3 after opening 2 for 2.
Yeah, after getting the offensive rebound, maybe you want to set up a little bit of a rush shot by.
Now a lob to Malawach. He fumbles it out of bounds, but they say off of Kansas.
Wow, I know it was close to being a foul on Hunter, and I thought it was off of Malawach, but Duke is going to keep it. It wasn't the greatest delivery.
Dickinson telling Bert Smith, look at the video board. It was clearly off Malawach. He says, sorry, son, not reviewable. But Duke's going to keep it, and I'm with you. I thought there might be a foul. I also thought at the time he threw the pass, oh, that's way over his head. Yeah. And I realized Malawach has a 7'5" wingspan. Here's a lob broken up by Dickinson and taken away by Big Hunt. What a play by Dickinson of Kansas. Jayhawks in front by 8 with the ball. Harris in the paint, puts up a floater, in and out, no good. And now a whistle and a foul on the floor. They're
going to get Malawach, I think, as Hunter was aggressive on the glass, and he pulled his arm down. So Kansas will keep it. Of our last 5 from the field, 1 of our last 7 haven't scored in 3 minutes, but still holding that 8-point lead and the ball.
Seems like there's been a lid over the bucket these last few trips down the floor.
You knew the numbers were going to come back. I mean, we were as hot as can be early.
Zeke Mayo, he was one of those guys lighting the fuse early. Passes inside. Here's Dickinson. Oh, he missed the dunk. KJ set up Hunter, and Dickinson missed a 2-hand slam. On the other end, Foster driving, spinning, and drawing a foul on Harris.
Yeah, he's missed a few dunks this year, which is, there was no challenge there at all. He just missed it off 2 feet. Good feed by KJ, just missed the dunk. Not much else you can say. And on the other end, Foster will go to the line for 2.
Dickinson looked like the most active player on the floor over the first 8 minutes or so, but in these last 4 minutes, he's missed his last 4 shots. Now free throws here for Foster. In his sophomore season, former 5-star Caleb Foster out of Harrisburg, North Carolina, in and out, no good on the free throw. He's only 5 of 10 now on the year is Foster. Former 5-star who missed the final 9 games of last season with an ankle injury. He was rated the number 22 overall player in his high school class by 24/7 Sports.
Well, year in and year out, Duke is packed full of former 5-stars. I mean, they've got a machine down there. Got to help him out here. There you go. KJ comes back as the release valve.
He hits the second to cut it to 7. KU's led by as many as 13. It's the closest it's been in about 5 minutes. Harris inside Dickinson. Oh, he short-armed a little left-hand floater left of the paint on the left block area. Rebound Duke. Dickinson's missed 5 in a row. Is it in his head right now?
A little bit. He short-armed that one.
Proctor steps through, intercepted by Harris, and then he's decked by James. DeJuan is a little slow in getting up, but he's just waiting for a teammate to pull him up.
Yeah,
he got drilled in the hip.
Yeah, good job of reading that. His back was kind of turned, and he saw where the man was, stepped right in, got the steal. Kansas right now always in the right spot. Bill Self's going to give Hunter Dickinson a break after missing his last 5. Get Flory back in there.
So we came back from our last commercial break and we talked about 9 of 12 from the field. Well, since then, 0 for 7 from the field. Kansas has gone from 75% shooting to just 47 now in the half. But they still lead by 7. Can they build on it here? Harris a lob. Flory, a slam. He took that elevator to the top floor and throws it down.
Yeah, I love that they're on the same page. DeJuan knew exactly what he wanted to do with it at the three-point line. Just get it somewhere close.
Foster rejected by Bidunga. My goodness, what a swat.
Yeah, he took the contact, went 100% vertical, got the block, and lives to see another day. Great job on both ends of the floor by Flory Bidunga.
Wow. I'd say that ankle, A-OK. No worse for the wear.
And I think what it was, because you and I were watching it, we're like, oh, man, that looks bad. But as you talk to him and talk to some of the coaches, he's a young guy. He hadn't really been hurt yet. And whenever you have that first sprained ankle, you feel like you just broke your leg. And a couple days later, he was fine.
Very scared in the moment, but obviously, as Bill Self said, he could have practiced the next day were it not for the wisdom tooth that had to be pulled.
Listen up, Jayhawk fans. On game day, stop by Wendy's and buy 1 Baconator and get a second Baconator for just $1. And let's all cheer for bacon big plays all season long. Wendy's, the official hamburger of Kansas Athletics.
Well, we've got 7:49 to go in the half, Greg. Cooper Flagg, the generational talent, maybe the best incoming freshman since Anthony Davis. 2 points. 1 of 2 from the field, 2 turnovers. Kansas, particularly with KJ Adams, has really taken him away.
Team defense. Everyone's dialed in. Everyone's communicating. And KJ's the ringleader on holding him down.
Jayhawks in front 25-16. 7:49 to go in the half on the Equity Bank Jayhawks Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, this is Coach Bill Self. We're used to talking about all things basketball, but right now I want you to hear these 4 important words about the growing crisis of drug overdose. 1 pill can kill. Kansans are dying every week from drugs laced with deadly fentanyl. Please educate your loved ones to steer clear of street drugs, never buy pills online without a prescription, and always use a reputable pharmacy. Just 1 pill can kill.
It takes hard work to be the best in the game. Planning, commitment, resilience, sweat. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of Kansas Athletics, helping the world keep promises.
Take a look around and you'll notice something extraordinary. Look at your community, your state, and even farther.
2, 1, and liftoff.
Jayhawks are there. On our 5 campuses across Kansas, we learn to be your doctors, teachers, researchers, champions. At the University of Kansas, we study the past to reshape our future, create jobs for a healthier economy, and discover the advancements that enrich our world. Jayhawks make it happen, 1 rock chalk at a time.
Hi, this is Mr. 50, Bud Stallworth, and you're listening to Kansas Jayhawk Basketball on the Jayhawk Sports Network.
7:49 to go here in Las Vegas. 25-16 Kansas. Jayhawks holding Duke to just 37% shooting, and this vaunted Duke defense that holds its opponents to less than 35% has given up 10 of 20 shooting to Kansas. Now those numbers have cooled of late, but still KU very efficient overall. Dukes to play it in. Foster looking to get it inside. He gets back out to Flagg. Yeah, it looked like Brown took a step there. Malik Brown.
He didn't take a step. He took 3.
Here's a 3 from Knipple that misses. Rebound, KJ Adams.
Should have numbers.
Soaring in, 4 on 2. Here comes Kansas. Harris hooks it in the corner. Mayo faked on a 3. Storr will pull. Storr will no hit. A.J. Storr from straight on, and the Kansas lead is a dozen.
KJ got that board, started to break, and 3 Duke Blue Devils were behind him. They had numbers. DeJuan got under the basket, and the extra pass. Here's a steal.
They threw it off the hip of Brown. A steal for Harris. 2-on-1. Storr rejected by Foster.
And there's A.J. and DeJuan saying, hey, A.J. looked at us and said, throw it up, because he was off timing-wise a little bit. Kansas will keep it, though, on another turnover by Duke.
All Jayhawks in this one. They've almost built back up their biggest lead. Currently at 12. They've led by as many as 13. Right now doing this without Hunter Dickinson on the floor. Get it into K.J. Adams. Right side Mayo. Try to pass ahead for Flory. Couldn't handle it. It's a turnover. Here comes Duke. Knipple on the run. Back to Brown. Hangs, fires, and misses. But a foul on Flory Bidunga. And free throws coming from Malik Brown, the Syracuse transfer.
You know, on the other end, Zeke and Flory just not on the same page. That's something that him and Hunter are better at, and that's just youth on Flory's part. He set the screen and didn't go right to the basket. Zeke assumed he was going to be there. That started the break and leads to these free throws.
First one rattled home. Dickinson and Coit re-enter for Kansas.
That'll be 2 on Flory.
Malik Brown, you can't read his name on the back of his uniform. He's got long, flowing, dreadlocked hair and kind of a ponytail hairstyle. It hangs so low, it covers up half of his jersey number. Second free throw. Pure swish. With that, Duke climbs back to within 10, 28-18.
You know, a big 2 or 3 minute stretch here to get to the under 4. You got a 10-point lead. You haven't gotten anything out of Cooper Flagg, so he's going to turn it on at some point. I talked in the pregame that, hey, he's going to get his. It's just a matter of how hard we have to make him work to get to that 20.
He's coming off 24 and 7 in Tucson at number 17 Arizona in what was a 14-point Duke win. What do you suppose the Wildcat fans of Tucson are thinking watching this a few nights later? Big 12 might be tougher than they think. Storr tried to pass ahead to KJ. It was tipped around, and Duke's got it. It's a steal. Ultimately wound up in Flagg's hands, though it was Knipple. It tipped it loose. Now a foul on the other end on A.J. Storr as they went right inside the Malawatch, and all Storr could do was back him to avoid a dunk.
It was a good foul by a veteran guy. A.J. Storr made sure that he didn't get an and one, make him earn it at the line, and just don't give up easy buckets.
Well, if the arena doesn't list a scoreboard anywhere, they certainly don't listen or list fouls, but I'll tell you that's his first for A.J. Storr.
I know, eye to eye when you look at Malawatch and Hunter, but right there on that free throw line, he looks like he's about 7'5". He is long.
No kidding. First free throw good. He's a good free throw shooter, although it's a small sample size. Comes in at 71%. Averages just over 9 points a game. He was the number 3 overall player in the class. So Flagg number 1, Malawatch number 3. We mentioned Knipple 17. That free throw also good. They've cut it to 8. Kansas fans imploring the Jayhawks to get going here. As Duke has gone on a little 4-0 mini run. Jayhawk fans on their feet. Right side Coit. Out to KJ. Long deuce. Launched and drilled. KJ Adams from 18 feet.
Ryan, if you would have said, hey, what's our go-to right here? It wasn't a 15-footer by KJ, but he had nothing but net.
And kind of looked at the bench as if to say, I knew it was going in the whole time. But yeah, that would have been maybe your 10th option. Here's Flagg on a drive on KJ and a whistle and a foul on Adams.
Yeah, he kind of had his arm wrapped into his, but Cooper moves without the ball so well. Once he gets it, he's always got a purpose, and that's going to be 2 on KJ Adams, which will get Ryland Griffin back in the game.
6th team foul. Conversely, Duke has 4 team fouls.
So probably won't see KJ again this half, depending on how Ryland does. It's got to continue to be team defense.
Griffin looked a little shaky in the 3 minutes he had earlier this half. Just didn't look super settled. But he's played in some big games in Alabama's March Madness run a year ago. James with the basketball for Duke. Kansas leading by 10. James driving left of the lane, cut off by Dickinson. And Dickinson tips the pass and steals it away. Ahead to Griffin, who picks up his dribble immediately and throws backwards to Hunter. Boy, Hunter Dickinson very active defensively here tonight. Much more so than typically. Inside Dickinson, left hand jump hook, good. He banked it home, and the KU lead is 12.
That was a patient move. He got it, came down with it, created a little contact, and they're going to get a little hand check on Diggy. He's going to send Duke to the line on a little Bill Raftery nickel dimer, but that was a good way for Hunter to get back into it. Dewan finds him, he gathers, he takes a little contact, plays right through it.
Duke as a team shoots at 73% from the free throw line. They'll get a front end of a 1-and-1 here with Sion James, who in 4 seasons at Tulane averaged 9.5 points per game. First free throw good.
We've seen this a lot this year with Kansas opponents. Teams have shot free throws. Our free throw defense isn't very good. Once again, Duke is 6 of 7 from the free throw line already. Kansas with a couple, 2 for 2, both and ones. One by Dewan, one by AJ.
Second free throw, also good, both pure swishes.
You know, Proctor comes back in the game. I haven't seen much from him except for the opening possession when he knocked down that 3, but he's a dangerous guy.
KU opponents at the free throw line this year shooting 74%. Kansas as a team is 68%. Here comes DeJuan Harris crossing over at the top. Picks up his dribble on the right elbow. Enters into Dickinson. Hunter backing his way down. Skips it out to Harris. Fakes on a 3. Drives, floats, shoots, misses. He thought he got fouled. Rebound Knipple. Here comes Proctor. A transition 3. Got it. And Duke right back within 7 as Proctor connects for the second time in the half. And now a blocking foul is going to be called in transition. And John Shire is incensed. He thought he got a turnover with Harris dribbling it out of bounds off his foot.
Yeah, DeJuan had his back turned, and the defender didn't give him a chance to come down. It did go off his foot, but Tony Padilla with the call to kind of slow down this run by Duke, because that would really have blown the roof off here. The Duke fans starting to get into it. Back in this game, only down 7.
Kansas is led by as many as 13. They had it up to 12 at a couple of junctures, even after Duke had cut it down to 3 possessions, that is. 7 is the closest they've cut it to in 2 junctures.
I think they've got a little blood on Brown of Duke.
Duke fans groaning over the stoppage in play here after a call they thought was missed, but as you said, they're tending to the blood on the jersey of Brown. Get that OxyClean with some black gloves on and got to get the stain out ASAP. Kansas, meanwhile, will huddle up on the other end.
Which might be a good thing. How good is Bill Self and his team's right out of timeouts? This is basically a timeout. Not going to be our under 4, I don't think, but always able to regroup and understand time and situation and see if we can get a play called out of this timeout.
We'll keep it right here. As you said, this is not an official timeout. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas is proud to be the trusted choice of more Kansans than anyone else. Shop Blue, Kansas. Visit bcbsks.com.
When the holidays get real, start at Kohl's and Kohl's.com, where you'll find amazing deals on everything you need, all in one place so you can focus on the moments that matter. Kohl's, where families come first.
Kansas leading at 32-25. 4:42 to go here in the half. Blood on the jersey of Brown has been removed. He's back in the ball game, and each coach essentially got a bonus timeout right there.
You know, we've seen this before in this short sample size of this season, where Kansas ran out to big lead against North Carolina, had a 12-point lead against Michigan State, and allowed that to slip away. So got to keep your foot on the gas. Under 5 minutes, still up by 7.
Harris dribbling just across the midcourt stripe. Screen comes from Storr at the top. Harris, little floater, misses. Rebound, Knipple of Duke. And Kansas cooling a bit of late. Shots that were falling early have not recently. Knipple across the blocks. Brown, a big-time slam. He throws it down with two hands, and it's down to a 5-point KU lead. It's a 7-0 Duke run. Dickinson dribbling, spinning, firing, missing. Out of control that time was Hunt. Here comes Duke.
Yeah, out of control is right. An ill-advised shot and really had nothing going.
Brown open for three. Got it. Oh my. Malik Brown, who'd only attempted 1-3 all year, was left unguarded for a second by Dickinson, and he's cut it to a 2-point ball game. And the Duke crowd, which probably represents about 33% in the house today, and that's not to say KU 67%. There's probably 15% that are neutral. But the Duke fans who were so quiet for the first half, right now on their feet and loving it. They've gone from down 13 to just 2.
Yeah, 10-0 run in just over a minute. I mean, they've hit us quick. Kansas with some ill-advised shots. They've been get some pace going. They get out on the break, had a dunk, had the transition 3 by Brown, where when you're scrambled defensively, that's when they hit you.
Kansas in front 32-30. We'll take a timeout. We've got 3:55 to go in the half on the Equity Bank Jayhawks Sports Network from Learfield.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Comes to a gun suicide attempt, all it takes is a moment.
Heather and I had an argument just like any other couple. I was lost. I had snapped. I had a gun and I was going to take my own life. Heather helped me realize that there was still a life to live for the better of myself, my family. My weapon is now safely put away.
A moment of crisis can happen to anyone. Store your guns, locked, unloaded, and away from ammo. Hear more safe stories at endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by Brady and the Ad Council.
You say you'd never give in to a meltdown and never fill your feed with kid photos. You say you'd never put a pacifier in your mouth to clean it and never let them run wild through the grocery store. So when you say you'd never let them get into a car without you there, no, it can happen. 1 in 4 hot car deaths happen when a kid gets into an unlocked car and can't get out. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
3:55 to go here in the first half in Vegas. 32-30, Kansas in front. Duke's only lead was 3-2 after a Tyrese Proctor 3 in the opening minute. Kansas built up a 13-point lead, had led in double figures for much of the first half, but right now a 10-0 Duke run has this down to just 2 on the Kansas lead. And if you just tuned in and thought, okay, 10-0 Duke run, Cooper Flagg must have gone nuts. No, actually, he doesn't have a single point in the run, only has 2 points the entire half. And so if you're a Duke fan and you found a way to almost tie this thing up without Cooper coming alive, you got to be feeling extra good heading into the second half.
Well, also, he affects the game by your whole defense being geared to stop him when other guys make plays. He's doing his part, but you know, this is some as adversity hits. How are you going to respond? That's what Bill's telling him right now. Hey, you just gave up a 10-0 run over a minute 16. How are you going to respond? And we saw that against Carolina. We saw it against Michigan State. We responded well. Now we're going to find out how we respond against Duke.
I think what's a little bit troubling about the way Kansas has looked offensively in the middle of this Duke run, a lot of rushed, hurried shots that seemed forced. Just not the open looks they were getting early.
Yeah, early on we were getting open looks because we were working the ball around and touching both sides of the floor, getting in the paint. So see what they dial up here out of the timeout.
Zeke Mayo, a deep lob for Dickinson. It was tipped loose from behind by Brown. A steal for Knipple. Knipple up the floor for the tie. Right-hand layup, good. And we're all square at 32 apiece.
Yeah, got exactly what you wanted. Hunter wide open down low, but they got a hand on it. And that started to break once again.
It was the help defense that slid in from behind to knock it loose. 32 all. Harris steps into a three. Bingo! Why not? DeJuan Harris and Kansas back in front.
Well, we needed a bucket earlier. It was KJ from the free throw line. And how about that? DeJuan Harris with the killer three to put Kansas back on top by 3.
35-32 Kansas. Knipple gets around Harris. A head fake in the paint. Kicks back to Brown. 10 to shoot. They'll kick it back out and work it around the perimeter. Cooper Flagg still with just 2 points. And now fumbling the ball is Proctor as he hit the deck. Zeke Mayo's got a steal. Here comes Kansas leading by 3. Mayo to Dickinson. KJ hit the deck as he was tangled up with Cooper Flagg. Gets back up to his feet, and the Hawks patiently work it around the perimeter. 2:30 to go in the half. Kansas by 3. Mayo sees a gap to drive, steps through, and a reach-in foul is going to be called on Duke. Boy, Gillis thought he had a tie-up, but they're going to pin a personal on the Blue Devils.
It looked like a clean tie-up, but there was a lot of body down low, and that was the right call. Not a bonus yet, as that is the 15th foul on Duke. Kansas will have it with 20 on the clock.
Harris to play it in. Lobs high to KJ at the right elbow. Out to Zeke. He'll drive. Get to the cup. Right-hand runner. Good. It's a 5-0 Kansas run and a quick timeout for John Shire.
That's what Zeke brings. You know, he's shown the ability to hit beyond the arc, but then he's so methodical and somewhat slow, but a very purposeful drive as he knifed through the Duke defense and got an easy layup. And that's all because when the two-man game of Hunter and Zeke is so effective, because Zeke, if his man goes low, he can step out and hit the three. If the two guys go to him, he can throw it up to Hunt. And that time they all kind of gravitated to Hunt, and he got an easy bucket. So a little 5-0 spurt after Duke tied it up.
Gotta love that, and that gets this Kansas crowd back on its feet. I would tell you, I think it's significantly in favor of Kansas. The crowd is not 2-1 necessarily, but close.
You know, we need to do a better job of, like you and I, wearing red, because when we play a blue team, they're going to wear, it's hard to tell in here, like you said, because it could be 50-50, could be 70-30.
So it's a 20,000-seat arena, actually bigger than the venue we played in Atlanta a couple of weeks ago, home of the Atlanta Hawks. But it's not completely full. There's some empties in the upper deck on the end zones to the right and to our left, but the lower bowl is completely full. And there were a ton of Jayhawk fans on the strip the last 2 days. Duke gets it in amidst some light pressure on the inbounds play. And now Proctor will walk it up the floor with Kansas leading 37-32. 2:15 to go here in the half.
This is where KJ's got to be careful. They're going to get a little hold on Hunter as Brown was coming to set the screen on Cooper Flagg. That'll send Brown to the line. I don't know how that gets called. It's a nothing. Didn't affect the game at all.
Bill's over there the same of John Gaffney, the official. So Brown goes to the line. First foul on Dickinson. And the front end of the 1-and-1 misses. Duke fighting for the rebound. They get it. And Gillis lays it up and in as KJ Adams fell on the play. And they get an easy layup.
Yeah, there's not a lot of guys that can match KJ's strength. But Gillis is one of them. And he threw KJ to the ground.
Now Brown knocks it loose of Dickinson all the way into the backcourt. Duke is 5 for its last 5. KU's lead is down to 3. Zeke dribbling behind his back. Steps back, throws right side Harris. 8 to shoot. DeJuan flings in the corner, and what's the call?
They're going to get a call on Brown, and then they got to make a call like that, and John Gaffney was the one that called it, because he just called it on the other end, and now you're going to have a 1-and-1 for Hunter.
Dickinson's free throw numbers have been, well, head-scratching.
Yeah, and this is a time that he struggled offensively from the field. Maybe a couple free throws can get him going.
He's only shooting them at 59% this year, 13 to 22.
And there's a they're really upset. Duke's upset. That's the problem with the call on Hunter on the other end, because the officials, although they always say they don't have makeup calls, that was a makeup call. But if you don't call the first one, just let them play, and the game's much cleaner.
Dickinson, as a sophomore, shot 80% from the free throw line. Then as a junior, he went to 73%. Then last year down to 62%. This year, 59%. How do you explain what's been a steady decline over the last 4 years?
I can't. I've watched Hunt go into the gym and shoot free throws and make 90 out of 100. I mean, he's now here he goes, knocks down the first of two, so that's the real important one to get the bonus. Oh, I know what they're really complaining about was a possible hook and hold by Hunter Dickinson. And after watching that replay, I kind of see as he makes them both, I kind of see because he definitely hooked them. And that's a big emphasis that could be a flagrant one.
The birthday boy hits both free throws. 39-34 Kansas.
Here's a good assignment for A.J. Storr on Cooper Flag out top.
Screen comes. KU switches defensively. They lob in the corner to Knipple. Leans in on Juan. It gets it too easy.
Yeah,
he's got extra muscle and bulk on DeJuan.
He kind of just big boyed him right there.
39-36 Kansas. 1:15 to go in the half. A.J. a long deuce. Misses. Rebound tipped about. Duke's got it. Here comes Proctor. Down the right sideline, a transition three from Gillis. Bricked. Long rebound to Griffin off the hands of Motherwatch. Griffin up the floor, coast to coast, flings back to Harris, who could have shot it but thought it was a little early, so he holds up on it, and they work it around the perimeter. A.J. Storr crossing over, finds Hunter on the left elbow. Out to Harris, 12 to shoot. DeJuan tight ropes the baseline and gets the bucket to go. A driving right-hand finish, and KU back up 5.
Perfect 2-for-1 right there. Looked like DeJuan was going to go all the way through, but he hit him on the left side. And Kansas back up by 5.
Listen to the roar of this Kansas crowd. Gotta love the turnout by Jayhawk Nation. Knipple, killer crossover. Blocked from behind, though. Motherwatch fighting for the ball. KU's got it. Griffin 4-on-2. Up the floor. Transition 3. What are you doing? Misses everything wide right.
Oh, wow.
They had 4-on-2, and it's like he thought there was 1 second on the clock. Here comes Duke with 10 seconds to play. Proctor trying to step back on a 3. Launches. Hits it. It's good to beat the buzzer, and that's a horrible sequence for Kansas to end the half. Duke cuts it to 2 when KU could have gone up 7 or 8. And it was so loud in here you couldn't hear if there was a whistle or not. Proctor was selling that he was fouled for an and one, and Shire's still pleading that he was hit on the wrist. But what was Ryland Griffin thinking?
Yeah,
15 seconds to go in the half, 4-on-2 with numbers.
He wasn't thinking, that's one. You got to get the last shot. You got the 2-for-1. You get the stop. You had a break with a lot of if you get a layup, you take it. But, man, just a bonehead play by Ryland Griffin, and it turned out to really hurt because of Proctor's 3. What John Shire is still arguing about was the hook and hold by Hunter Dickinson. I don't think he thought Proctor got hit. It was just so instead of having an opportunity to build on a 5-point lead or at a minimum go into the locker room up by 5, you give up the 3 and you go in up 2.
How about that? Kansas controlled almost the entirety of the half, but it's just a 2-point lead. 41-39 Kansas. Let's quickly pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Jayhawk Basketball. (41-39) Kansas at the break. Greg will have a look at the first half numbers right after this on the Equity Bank Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
To find an agent near you, visit shelterinsurance.com and switch today.
It's the Get Holiday Ready sales event with Hank and Sam from the Ford crew. Today, a new shipment of inventory.
Hank, what's going on?
Another hauler full of new Ford trucks and SUVs, Sam.
So much SUV capability. Is that?
Ford F-Series, the best-selling trucks for 47 years. And a big selection means...
Big savings?
Yep, which means...
It's the best time to buy.
Well done, Sam. And time for America to get holiday ready with Ford.
Based on 1977 to 2023 CY Industry reported total sales.
This is Brian Haney with a message from the Kansas Drive to Zero Coalition. Wherever you plan to watch or listen to this week's game, if you're drinking, have a plan to arrive and return home safely. We are proud to partner with the Kansas Drive to Zero Coalition. Plan ahead to designate a sober driver, hop on SafeRock, or use your favorite rideshare app. Together, Jayhawk fans with a plan can prevent serious injuries and fatalities caused by impaired drivers. True Blue Jayhawks don't drink and drive.
It takes hard work to be the best in the game. Planning, commitment, resilience, sweat. That's why Old Dominion Freight Line, the #1 national LTL carrier for quality, works hard to be the best in the game and is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Old Dominion Freight Line, official freight carrier of Kansas Athletics, helping the world keep promises.
Hi, we're your friends who get super excited about the holidays.
We sure are, or this isn't the ugliest holiday sweater ever.
People think we're happy because we love peppermint lattes.
Or catching snowflakes on our tongues.
But really, it's because
it's Holiday Millionaire Raffle Season.
It's your best odds to win $1 million.
That's dollars, not twinkling lights, but that would be great too.
Play the Kansas Lottery Holiday Millionaire Raffle. Get excited.
See kslottery.com for details.
20 minutes of Jayhawk basketball are in the books. Welcome to the Halftime Show on the Jayhawks Sports Network from Learfield. The Halftime Show is brought to you by the University of Kansas Health System, the official healthcare provider of Kansas Athletics, together with LMH Health, the Kansas Department of Insurance, reminding you to have a game plan before you invest. Help is available at smartinvestks.com, and by the Kansas Lottery. Download the Play On app and dream bigger. The Halftime Show begins now.
Back and live here in Las Vegas. Exciting first half of basketball. A lot of runs, peaks and valleys. Duke came back strong in the final 6 minutes to make it a 2-point game after Kansas once was up by 13. We got ourselves a ball game. Look at the stats. Both teams shooting 50%. Rebounds pretty close. Everything's pretty tight, as you can imagine, in a 2-point game. But we're going to pick an Old Dominion Freight Line first half player of the game, and it's got to be DeJuan Harris. 10 points, 4 assists, 2 steals, 0 turnovers, all the while having to get it done on the defensive end as well. So it's an easy pick for me. DeJuan Harris is your Old Dominion Freight Line player of the first half. Old Dominion Freight Line works hard to be the best in the game, and it is proud to support those striving to be the best in theirs. Old Dominion, the official freight line of Kansas Athletics. Your score at the half, Kansas 41, Duke 39. We'll be back on the Halftime Show with a recap and highlights from the first half. You're listening to Jayhawk Basketball on the Equity Bank Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
All right, son. Time to put out this campfire.
Dad, we learned about this in school.
Oh, did you now? Okay. What's first?
Smokey Bear said to.
First drown it with a bucket of water, then stir it with a shovel.
Wow, you sound just like him.
Then he said.
If it's still warm, then do it again.
Where can I learn all this?
It's all on SmokeyBear.com with other wildfire prevention tips, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Back in live courtside from Las Vegas, the T-Mobile Arena. Kansas leads Duke 41-39. Greg and Brian will be back with more of the halftime show. Coming up next, you're listening to the Equity Bank Jayhawks Sports Network from Learfield.
Do you have a reason to smile? If you have healthy teeth, you definitely do. And if you're covered by Delta Dental of Kansas, you have another reason to smile. Delta Dental of Kansas has many fabulous dental insurance coverage plans with a range of options to fit your life. You decide what you need. The whole process is so super easy. Plus, Delta Dental has the largest network of dentists in the entire nation. Yep, another reason to smile. Go to deltadentalks.com and click on Shop for Insurance to get started.
This is Kansas Insurance Commissioner Vicki Schmidt. Success on game day starts with doing your homework. Investing is no different. That's why you should visit smartinvestks.com, an investor empowerment initiative from the Kansas Insurance Department. Whether you are just coming off the bench or are a seasoned pro, smartinvestks.com is here to coach you on how to avoid investment fraud by chalking up the offensive and defensive X's and O's. Have a game plan before you invest. Visit smartinvestks.com. That's smartinvestks.com.
I had this patient. His cancer treatment had him in the hospital for a while. One day we learned his grandson's prom was coming up, so secretly we arranged for him and his date to stop by. I'll never forget that night, the smile on my patient's face, the hug that didn't want to end. Sometimes I wonder if I'm doing all I can. Then I help make a moment like that happen, and I know I am.
The University of Kansas Cancer Center. Why would you go anywhere else?
Hi, I'm Ryan Blaney, a third-generation race car driver, and I dedicate a lot of my time going fast. But when my grandpa was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it was a very unexpected bump in the road for us. It's important to notice if older family members are acting differently or having trouble with routine tasks. Early detection of Alzheimer's can give your family time to explore support services and access available treatments. If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. Visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sunscreen for more information. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
How's business?
Good. Are you up to speed with the new beneficial ownership reporting requirements?
Sort of. What's it about?
It's a new initiative to help fight crimes like money laundering, fraud, and drug trafficking. A lot of small businesses like ours just have to report some basic info to the federal government about the real people behind them.
Reporting your company's beneficial ownership information is quick, secure, and free. And it helps protect U.S. national security. Learn more at fincen.gov/BOI.
Welcome back to T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas. Kansas clinging to a 41-39 halftime lead as Duke closed the half, hitting 7 of their last 9, including a 3 by Proctor to beat the buzzer. He was 3 for 4 from beyond the arc. You take out Proctor, and the rest of their team was just 30% from downtown. Duke launched 14 first-half threes, hitting 6 of them. Let's bring you some first-half highlights brought to you by Bud Light, a proud sponsor of Kansas Athletics. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. The Jayhawks got it going early with Zeke Mayo delivering this early 3-ball to give Kansas a 5-3 lead. Jayhawks attacking from left to right as we view the floor. 3-2 Duke here early. Can Mayo get a 3? You bet he can! Zeke Mayo from the left wing, and Kansas back in front. Then it was DeJuan Harris with a fast break finish off a Kansas steal to extend that lead to 4.
There's a turnover by Cooper Flagg.
He dribbled it off the foot of KJ, up the floor, Juan. Right hand layup, good! DeJuan Harris in transition, and Kansas extends its lead. The run would continue on a Hunter Dickinson three, all part of a Jayhawk 10-0 run. The three. Here's a little stop-and-go move by Storr. Kicks to Hunter for three. He hit it! Hunter Dickinson from straight on, and he is fired up, running down the floor, imploring Jayhawk fans to get to their feet. 10-3 Kansas. Then A.J. Storr got a three-pointer the old-fashioned way. Here come the Hawks. Dickinson, left side finds Storr. A.J. in the lane, puts up a floater. It's good, and the foul. A chance at three for Kansas. And then the run would swell to its biggest. What was ultimately a 14-0 run was capped by this Zeke Mayo three, his second of the half. Kansas in front right now in this meeting, 13-3, and they have the ball. Mayo steps back on a three, launches, and hits.
Why not?
My goodness, Kansas on fire here in Vegas. But a great comeback by Duke makes it a 2-point game at the break, 41-39 Jayhawks. The second half is coming up when we come back on the Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
This is McGruff the Crime Dog, and I need you to help me take a bite out of crime. Another teenager, victim to fake pills bought from social media. This doesn't seem like a drug deal, but it definitely is. Should buying prescription pills be that easy? Many fake pills contain fentanyl, and an amount small enough to fit on the tip of a pencil can be lethal. So listen, before buying pills from social media, think again. Learn more at mcgruffpsa.org and go for real. Brought to you by USPTO and the National Crime Prevention Council.
Yes! I finally got my first phone!
It is exciting. Let's learn a few things about online safety first.
We can secure our world. Online security depends on you and me. Install updates, make better passwords. Think before you click, use multiple factors. That's how we can secure our world.
Learn more at CISA.gov/secure-our-world.
Everyone has a community, a neighborhood, school, kids' teams, where you worship, work out, or any other place or group where you choose to belong. Communities can provide support when you need it, and even when you don't know you do. Like when it comes to preventing underage drinking and other substance use. Community members can be your eyes and ears when you're not with your kids and alert you to signs of potential problems. Learn more at talktheyhearyou.samhsa.gov.
Welcome back to T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas. Kansas leading by just 2 despite a 14-0 first half run and on a couple of occasions a 12 and 13-point first half lead. But Duke finished the half with a flurry, so just a 2-point Jayhawk advantage. What did the Kansas assistant coach who had the scout on the Blue Devils have to say about the first 20 minutes? Here's Greg Gurley with Norm Roberts.
Here with Norm Roberts, a lot of action in that first half. Got out to a big lead, let them back in it. What were your takeaways from the first half?
Well, we did a good job. We really pushed the ball in the beginning. We defended well. We played in transition, and we attacked the paint. I thought later on in the game we stopped doing that. We kind of got a little stagnant, and then our mess-ups or bad shots or turnovers led to them scoring.
What was the message at halftime?
We got to guard. We got to rebound. We got to get back in transition. We got to sort, and we got to make sure we keep Cooper contained.
All right, thanks, Coach.
They've kept Cooper contained to this point. Just 2 points for the consensus #1 player in both the 2025 class and the 2024 class. He reclassified to play a year early, and keep in mind he's still 17 years old. KJ Adams has done a masterful job of frustrating him and largely taking him away, but guys like Proctor, Knippel, and even Gillis have proven to be factors here. And I thought the minutes they also got out of Brown were big in the midst of the comeback. The Syracuse transfer, Malik Brown, with some big-time contributions, even though he'd only been a 2-point-per-game type player over their first 5.
Yeah, when your star struggles, other guys got to pick him up. That's a sign of a great team. That's exactly what happened. You talked about KJ doing such a good job on Cooper Flagg, but that has opened up opportunities for others. And it wasn't just KJ. It was a team effort because there was awareness, and everywhere he went, now we got to have that same awareness with maybe the guys that hurt you more in that first half. And so got to keep up the intensity and got to limit. You heard Norm talk about it with me. their easy buckets were off of our bad shots. We didn't do a good job of stopping the ball, and they got a bunch of easy baskets and open threes off of our turnovers or bad shots.
Duke will have the ball first to start the second half. Cooper Flagg to play it in from right in front of us. Duke, a Nike school, white jerseys, the home whites. Kansas, the Adidas Road Blues. Proctor being guarded by Zeke Mayo as number 5 guards number 5. They play it off to Knipple, head of the circle. Duke looking for the tie to get it to Flagg. He tried to dunk over Hunter and was blocked by Dickinson, but also fouled by Big Hunt. So free throws coming for Flagg. And if you're a Duke fan, you like that emphasis by Shire to go right to Flagg coming out on the first play of the second half.
And that would have been an amazing dunk because he took off about 10 feet from the basket off of 2 feet, and Hunter did a good job of making him earn it from the line, but too easy of a look early in the clock, and he can tie it up.
He's a 74% foul shooter, and he misses the first. In and out, no good. He had been 17 of 23 to open his college career from the free throw line. A preseason second-team All-American. Bill Self thinks he's the best collegiate freshman since Anthony Davis. Second free throw good. 1-point game. 41-40 Kansas. Jayhawks with their first trip down the floor offensively of the second half. DeJuan Harris to bring it up from right to left as we view the court. Hawks weaving around the perimeter with A.J. Storr. Left side Harris. Now Mayo on the wing, guarded closely by Proctor. Zeke steps back on a three. Missed it strong. Rebound Cooper Flagg of Duke. And now Blue Devil fans come alive as they got a chance to take their first lead since the 19:15 mark of the first half.
Yeah, not the shot that Bill Self wanted. He threw his stat sheet down, very upset at the shot selection by Zeke Mayo.
Knipple takes her pass between the circles. Screen comes from Flagg. Driving on KJ. Floats, fires, hits. Knipple gets it to fall, and Duke back in front, 42-41. Jayhawks have looked out of sorts offensively for the last 5+ minutes going back to the end of the first half. Time to get a high percentage look. Harris with the Hawks down 1, dribbling through the paint, flings in the corner, Storr for 3. He hit it! A.J. Storr, and Kansas back in front by 2.
AJ's really given some good minutes. He's now in double figures. DeJuan weaved through the lane and found A.J. in the corner.
His second triple of the ball game. He's 4 of 7 from the floor, 11 points. Flagg gets a screen at the top from Alawatch. Right side Knipple for 3. In and out, no good. Dickinson tips it ahead to Harris. Boy, Knipple has had so many that were halfway down. He's 0 for 5 from 3, and that's a guy that normally shoots him at 41%. KJ on the other end, pulls up from 12. Got it! Mid-range game on points for KJ Adams, who pounds his chest with a closed right-handed fist.
Yeah, when you walk around Fieldhouse, a lot of days you see KJ working with Chase Buford on that very shot right there. That's repetition, and he's hit a couple mid-rangers already tonight.
5-0 KU spurt. Foster in the paint. Cut off by Harris. Kicks it out to Proctor. Drives on Zeke. Gets the bucket to go, but is it a charge?
Yep.
It's going the other way. No basket.
And a good job by Zeke Mayo staying in front, selling it a little bit. And once that arm gets extended, they're going to call it because that was a big play because he made the bucket. Could have been an and one, but we go the other way with it. So after Duke took that 1-point lead, little 5-0 spurt by Kansas, the 3 by A.J.
Harris ahead to KJ. 10-footer goes. Hit the back iron, the backboard, and down. And Adams is fired up.
Yeah, that's that little 2-man game with DeJuan Harris. They've been doing it for years. And when KJ's rolling like that, next time they're going to go to him, and he might get the dunk, the alley-oop.
Tip and a steal by Harris. This could be fun. Wando to the cup. Right-hand runner, good. DeJuan gets his hand in the cookie jar, and it's a quick 2 on the other end.
Yeah, it's a game of runs. Right now, Kansas on one. 9-0 over the last minute 40. The Jayhawk crowd's back into it. After Duke took a 1-point lead, Kansas hit them right in the mouth, up by 8.
Wow. You know, it was a 10-0 Duke run in a minute 16 late in the first half. This is a 9-0 Kansas run in a minute 48 early in the second.
And what it shows, it kind of shows youth versus age. Right now, Kansas mentally is the stronger team, and older guys are stepping up. A.J. Storr, DeJuan Harris, K.J. Adams, and that's the difference in the game right now. Now, we can't get complacent. We can't pat ourselves on the back because we saw how that worked out in the first half.
Shire takes a timeout for Duke, so we'll take one as well. The KU Bookstore is the official KU campus store since 1946. Jayhawks lead at 50-42, riding a 9-0 run on the Equity Bank Jayhawks Sports Network from Learfield.
The tradition, the rivalries. SiriusXM is your destination for all things college sports, and we've got you covered. On SiriusXM College Sports Radio, there's complete coverage of every major conference, including live games, plus 24/7 talk and analysis. So cheer along on the SiriusXM app and listen to your favorite team anywhere. And now you can get 3 months of SiriusXM free. Subscribe now. See offer details at SiriusXM.com/College Sports Radio 24.
Hey Jayhawk fans, Coach Self here. When I prepare for a game, I always do my homework. Investing is no different. That's why you should visit smartinvestks.com, an investor empowerment initiative from the Kansas Department of Insurance. Smartinvestks.com is here to coach you on how to avoid investment fraud by chalking up the offensive and defensive X's and O's. Have a game plan before you invest. Visit smartinvestks.com.
Dear road rivals, let's talk about extra. Toyota offers tons of extra with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan good for 2 years or 25,000 miles. No-cost oil changes, no-cost tire rotations, no-cost fluid level adjustments, and more. That's a whole lot of extra at no cost from Toyota. Nissan and Ford charge extra for maintenance, and that's the kind of extra nobody needs. Try harder. Toyota.
Based on manufacturer's data as of 3/19/2024, covers normal factory scheduled service for 2 years or 25,000 miles, whichever occurs first. See participating dealer for coverage details.
Hey Jayhawk fans, it's Brady Morningstar, and you're listening to Kansas Jayhawk Basketball on the Jayhawk Sports Network.
Welcome back to Las Vegas. Kansas in front 50-42. It's a 9-0 Jayhawk run. Kansas 4 for 4 in the midst of this run, including some big mid-range buckets by K.J. Adams.
Yeah, he's perfected that little kind of shot put one-handed 10-footer. We saw him hit a 15-footer in the first half, and he's just playing at a different level right now. You know, he's only got the 3 field goals, but it's so hard to expand so much energy on the defensive end and do it on the offensive end. It's hard to do, and KJ, as a senior, has figured it out, and he's frustrated Cooper Flagg into only 2 shot attempts.
Amazing. 3 total points for a guy that has been averaging 18 a game and is coming off 24 at Arizona on Friday. 50-42 Kansas. Duke with the ball coming out of the timeout. They're attacking from left to right. Flagg trying to get around KJ. Cannot, and he fumbles it away. A.J. Storr contributed to the takeaway. Now Mayo up the floor, and a tie-up is called in transition. It'll stay with KU on the arrow.
It's the right call. It was good defense. Zeke was getting into his kind of slow 2 steps where he kind of dissects through, but good defense. But better defense on the other end for Kansas to get yet another turnover, and they swarmed Cooper Flagg. KJ stayed in front. AJ came from the back and got a hand on it.
Flagg with 3 turnovers and 3 points. How about that? Kansas gets it in, and Harris will dribble toward the top. Jayhawks leading at 50-42, 16:30 to play. Dickinson hands off to Mayo. Crosses over, back to Hunter. 13 to shoot. Zeke, little stop and go. Fumbled it away and taken out of there by Maluach of Duke.
And he was getting ready to do a little dump off to Hunter. Would have had a layup, and he just kind of fumbled it and turned it over.
Back come the Blue Devils. Flagg gets airborne again, not knowing what to do with it. Finally passes out. Now a 3 from the corner. Buried by Foster. Caleb Foster, who only shoots at a 32%, drains that one to cut it to 5.
He turned it down initially and didn't even take a dribble and kind of reset and knocked it down from the corner. So other guys for Duke are stepping up.
Halts a 9-0 KU run. 50-45 Kansas. 15:40 to play. KJ in the paint from 15. Buried it in the eye of Cooper Flagg. KJ Adams having a career day against the number 1 pick in the draft.
Yeah, a little pin down curl screen. He used it perfectly. Got a little space, elevated, and knocked down his 3rd field goal. Here's a steal by AJ that left Cooper Flagg wide open. You just can't do that. Bill Self pointing to his head and pointing to AJ like, when you go for that steal, that only allows them a good look, and Cooper Flagg finally made him pay.
And again, you hope that doesn't get him going. Flagg cuts it to a 4-point game. Harris drives in, kicks back to AJ. Hunter calling for the ball. Harris at the top, finds Zeke Mayo. Right corner to Adams. Jayhawks lead by 4 with 15 minutes to go. Zeke Mayo ahead to Hunt. Drives, shoots. Got it to fall. Wow. Left-hand layup good, and he lost his shoe. He's playing with 1 sock and 1 shoe on. Here comes Flagg driving. Rejected by KJ. My goodness. KJ Adams from another planet. He is out of his mind right now. What a defensive game for KJ Adams.
And the fist pump by Bill Self. He's into this. They really thought, John Shire and his staff thought that Cooper got hit, but bodies flying everywhere. This is big boy basketball, and KJ Adams is just willing his team to this 6-point lead right now. They'll have it when we come back.
I've never seen him play more emotionally charged than he is right now. I say career day, and I don't mean in terms of scoring. He's only got 8, but he's been efficient. He's not missed a shot. On the other end, he's held Cooper Flagg, the projected by everybody number 1 pick in next June's draft, to just 2 field goal makes, one of which was not on him.
You know, we just had Hunter with the layup, and he lost his shoe like you called, and I think Duke knew that. They were trying to attack, and instead of getting a bucket, they turned it over, and Kansas will have it coming back after the timeout.
Unbelievable effort by KJ Adams.
Second half action is brought to you by Trust Credit Union, the official financial well-being partner of Kansas Athletics. Proudly serving Jayhawk fans and the Lawrence community, federally insured by the NCAA.
54-48. KJ walks to the bench, pounding his chest with that closed fist. He is loving life with the Hawks up 6 here in Vegas. 14:33 to go on the Equity Bank Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
They say tomorrow is always coming, but never arrives. It's always just beyond today. Not true when it comes to internet. Tomorrow's technology is already here. We'll need solutions that are even faster, smarter, and more secure. So let's go. Let's go to a place where Midco Internet connects you to all the possibilities of tomorrow. That's where we're going today. Midco. Let's go beyond.
No matter your level of play, LMH Health and Ortho Kansas provide championship care to all members of the Lawrence community and beyond. Our experts in sports medicine and orthopedic care have partnered on the field with athletes for more than 45 years, providing innovative treatments and therapies for athletes of all ages. Call us at 785-843-9125 or visit lmh.org/orthokansas to learn more. LMH Health, a partner for lifelong health.
Hey Jayhawk fans, it's Coach Self. Here at Kansas Athletics, we know success isn't accomplished alone. It's all about the team. That's why we are proud to team up with Trust Credit Union, the official financial well-being partner of Kansas Athletics. Team Trust knows that every play matters and every moment leads to a winning game plan. They have the resources you need to save, spend, borrow, and plan along your financial journey. Stop by a Trust location today or visit meritrustcu.org. Together, it's a win. Rock Chalk.
54-48 Kansas. An otherworldly effort out of KJ Adams. Just a Herculean effort defensively on Cooper Flagg. I've not seen him play this emotionally charged before. He is taking this assignment personally. Here's a pass by Zeke that goes off the hip of Hunter. It's a live ball turnover. Duke up the floor. Gillis blocked again by KJ. Unbelievable effort for KJ Adams.
Looks like they were going to get an easy one that time, and KJ out of nowhere There's another turnover by Zeke.
Bad pass by Mayo trying to enter it into Hunter. It's tipped and taken away by Brown. Foster, a step back three, missed it short. A push in the back, I believe, by a Duke player.
Yep, they got Gillis. And Hunter just pointed to AJ and said, hey, throw it up.
Yeah.
No more bounce passes. And he tried to get that pass kind of north and south. You got to improve your angle to get it to the big fella. So
the latest block by KJ was a swat from behind, and after that he swung and pumped his fist, kind of like MJ after hitting a shot over Craig Elo. He's playing with more fire than I've ever seen, and he's normally a pretty emotional guy. But tonight, this is on a whole different level. Tonight, the ownership he's taken in this flag assignment has brought him to a completely new height. Coit, drive it inside, flings in the corner to Store. 8 to shoot for Kansas. Back out to Diggy, launches a three. He hit it! Diggy Coit from way downtown.
And that's exactly why we got David Coit for an impact like that. Little Vinnie Johnson microwave just coming in. He's in the game for 30 seconds, knocks down a huge three.
Flag throws off in the corner. Gillis for three, missed it short. Rebound, KJ Adams. Here comes Kansas leading 57-48. KJ has a poke loose for a second by Gillis, but gets it back and kicks it out to Mayo. Diggy comes out to receive the ball from Zeke. Kansas
hit him again.
Here's a three from Coit, missed it short. Rebound Gillis of Duke.
Yeah, he got exactly what he wanted. Good screen by Flory, just a little off on that one by Diggy.
Kansas 57, Duke 48, 12:35 to play in this one. Brown, head of the circle, picks up his dribble. Proctor for three, buried it. Zeke got out there late. And Bill Self, you can tell, disappointed. You cannot let Proctor get separation. That's his fourth three-point make. 57-51 Kansas. Coit off on the right side to KJ. Muscled up on by Gillis, who's with him bounce for bounce. KJ sets a screen for Diggy. Left side Mayo. Flory collects a pass on the left short corner. 5 to shoot. Out to Store. 3 to shoot. Into Flory. Oh, and he dribbled it off his foot. They weren't going to get a shot up anyway. And not a good possession for Kansas. They'll have to come back in with Dewan and Hunter.
Yeah, you got to figure out what twosome you want right there. And it's probably not Flory getting the ball 15 feet from the basket when the shot clock's at 5.
What happened on the open three from Proctor?
I didn't see. It had to have been a screen because Zeke was late, and you could tell he was late because he wasn't within 10 feet of him, and you just cannot open of a look to the one guy that's really hurt him tonight, and that's Tyrese Proctor.
I was just going to say, that's the one guy that's kept him in this game. He had the first half buzzer beater three and 4 total threes to have Duke within 6.
BMW of Topeka is the home of performance professionalism, customer support, and service for KU grads and supporters. 3030 South Kansas Avenue or online at bmw.com.
LMH Health is your partner for lifelong health. Learn more at lmh.org. Kansas in front 57-51. The Jayhawks have hit 7 of their last 9. Hawks by 6 with 12 minutes to go on the Equity Bank Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
I'm Tammy Peterman, president of the Kansas City Division of the University of Kansas Health System. We are proud the University of Kansas Hospital is still the best hospital in Kansas and Kansas City, according to U.S. News and World Report, the only hospital to ever receive this recognition. We are also the only hospital in the region to have any medical and surgical adult specialties ranked among the top 50 nationwide, with 6 nationally ranked specialties. Now and always, we are here for you. Learn more at kansashealthsystem.com/stillthebest.
And now an important message from our coaches' wives.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide or experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis,
988 provides direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support.
You'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns and connect you to additional resources if needed.
There is hope.
You are not alone. For 24/7 non-judgmental support,
call, text, or chat 988.
When you share your food, you share your heart. So what's on your table this holiday season? Save on your festive Feast at Dillon's.
with delicious deals on all the holiday classics. Or wow the crowd with something new, like a quinoa stuffed butternut squash. It's sure to add a pop of color to your spread. How about a sweet potato casserole with a crunchy oat streusel topping, made with care for the sweet tooth and the savory tooth? With Dillon's, fill your table with love and watch as your guests' hearts get as full as their bellies. Dillon's, fresh for everyone.
Hey Jayhawk fans, this is Nick Collison, and you're listening to Kansas Jayhawk Basketball on the Jayhawk Sports Network.
Welcome back to T-Mobile Arena, Kansas in front, 57-51. Never know who you're going to see walking the strip in Vegas or in an arena in Vegas. You see all kinds of big-time sports stars, certainly. But how about a pretty famous Duke grad who is also famous for a movie all about Vegas, talking about Ken Jeong from the Hangover series.
Leslie Chow is here. Duke grad. Good to see him. Going to have a special guest Saturday in Allen Fieldhouse against Furman.
Are you allowed to say who?
Yeah, we'll say it on Saturday.
Okay. 57-51. Kansas in front, and Duke bringing it up the floor. Contact and a foul on Kansas and David Coit.
Yeah, he was just had his elbows right into. Who'd they get? Yeah, David Coit 40 feet away from the basket got a foul. Bill looked at him. I could see it. He goes, "Why? Why?"
Crowd is reacting to them showing Ken on the screen sitting next to Coach K. How about that tandem of celebrities? Coach K, of course, here is a fan. To get it into Knipple. Backing his way down on Ryland Griffin. Turns, shoots, missed it short, but a foul on Ryland. And free throws coming for Knipple, who just looks so much more mature and physically strong for an incoming freshman. And frankly, he looks more poised right now than the junior Griffin.
Yeah, he really does. He carries, carries himself well, and he's very deliberate. You know, he kind of backs you down. He's kind of playing like a high school player, but at an elite level where you just kind of back guys down and get to the line. He's a true scorer.
First free throw is good. And Duke trims away at the deficit. Kansas clinging to a 5-point lead, 57-52. Knipple a 90% free throw shooter.
And we are 7 of our last 9, but had a few turnovers in there as Knipple makes it a 4-point game, knocking them both down.
If he sees the lid come off, because keep in mind he's 0 for 5 from 3, he could be a huge difference maker. Normally a 41% three-point shooter. 57-53 Kansas. A deep lob for Hunter, broken up on the back line by Cooper Flagg. Here comes Duke, 3-on-2, plowing through his Knipple, and a charge is called. DeJuan Harris stood in the lane as that train came barreling down the tracks. The fearless Wando draws the charge.
Yeah, he did a great job of anticipating where Knipple was going. He went to his left, clearly a charge. Duke made taking charges famous for many, many years, and it's harder to get one nowadays with the way they call games, but you got to be 100% sure. Good job by DeJuan.
4-point KU lead. KJ with the ball left side. Hands off to Coit. Shot fakes on a 3. Dribbles out front. Right side, Harris now on the wing. 10 to shoot. Duke extending pressure. Harris lobs to Hunt. Trapped on the catch. Kicks it out. Wando dials up a 3. Missed it short. Rebound Duke. You could tell the moment it left his hands, he didn't have enough juice on it. Now KJ gets a hand in. What's the call? It's a tie-up. And KJ again with an impactful defensive play, having the best defensive game of his Jayhawk career.
Yeah, he just got in there, forcing the jump ball. It'll be Duke ball, but they had some numbers, and good job of just getting dirty once again.
Quick hook for Ryland Griffin as A.J. Storr comes in for Ryland. He just doesn't look comfortable.
Yeah, on the defensive end, he gave up, the 2 free throws at Knipple, and
they get it into Flagg, shoots over KJ, blocked again, but a stick back is there for James. Boy, KJ got a deflection, but Sion James was Johnny on the spot. They've cut it to 2, have the Blue Devils. Kansas up 57-55, inside Hunt, turns, shoots, misses, fights for his own rebound, hit the deck hard, and now there's a scrum as you had collapsing on top of Hunter Dickinson.
Yeah, then
the big fella Brown.
He kind of threw a leg or an arm when they were on the ground. See if they take a look at that. But it's not going to be a shooting foul unless they call something. But I bet you they look at it.
Meanwhile, Shire is all the way out on the other side of the floor.
They pushed Hunter's leg away, which I don't think they're going to call anything with that. And
Hunter did throw an elbow. Oh, and I think Hunter's right foot may have kicked Brown in the side of the head, and that's what Shire was up in arms about.
Well, it's all going to get looked at. The big guy in the sky.
So for a flagrant foul.
They say it's going to be reviewed for a flagrant foul, just not sure on who.
Well, based on what I just saw, I think there's more reason to be concerned it could be on Dickinson. This play under review is brought to you by the University of Kansas Health System, the official healthcare provider of Kansas Athletics, together with LMH Health. Yeah, initially, the way Hunter was flipped around, you thought a flagrant might be called on Malik Brown, but upon further review, you just hope the leg extension and the foot that grazed the side of Brown's head was inadvertent, and more Dickinson kind of squirming around on the ground.
They showed us a replay early, but haven't shown it since. I'm going to try to get an idea over here on the ESPN camera. Hear what they say. Hold on.
57-55, Kansas leading with 10:26 to go. And right now they're looking at the scrum after Dickinson hit the deck with Brown.
They're going to see if there's a flagrant foul on either player, is what he said, as they explained to Carl Ravitch and Fran Fraschilla.
Ravitch, of course, no more for his baseball work, but has done more college basketball of late. Here's a look that we're getting on the replay review. There was an initial elbow that Dickinson threw before the shot.
But, with Hunter's foot hitting Brown in the face, I don't think that was... It sure didn't look like he was making eye contact when he did that, so the question's going to be intent.
And then what did Brown do after that? What did you see?
Well, he pushed his leg away after a size 18 hit him in the side of the head, so... The question is going to have to be, was that just kind of flailing moment when you're on the ground, or was it intentional?
Of course, I think back to prominent Duke players over the years. Grayson Allen was a guy that had a reputation for...
And obviously Christian Laettner.
No doubt.
One doesn't have much to do with the other than history. And it's going to be interesting. They're bringing the third look in as...
Boy, this could be a huge call.
If it's nothing, it's Kansas's ball out of bounds. If it's something, it could be Duke with 2 free throws and the ball, and they can tie it up and have a chance to take the lead. I don't think it's going to be flagrant on each, but...
Well, it's currently a 7-0 Duke run over the last 2:06. Kansas had a 9-0 run earlier in the half. It's been a game of runs. Right now, these two teams, these two blue bloods, who've combined for 32 Final Fours and 9 national titles. They're separated by just 2 points, 57-55 Kansas. They're done looking at the monitor. They're now going to huddle up and talk as a group.
We can't lip read because they're covering their mouths like an offensive coordinator in the NFL.
And let's be honest, we wouldn't be great at lip reading anyway.
How do you know?
Tony Padilla, John Gaffney, and Bert Smith. You're probably better at counting cards in Vegas than lip reading.
You're right.
But you're right, Padilla is covering his mouth so as to not give away anything. Boy, they are locked in a long conversation here. This has been an extended delay.
We're going to be like, hey, who wants to tell Bill? Or who wants to tell John? Well, you do it.
Boy. This long of a deliberation makes me think they aren't offsetting fouls. Like you said, not likely to be a flagrant on both. Oh, man. Meanwhile, 57-55 our score, 10:26 to go.
And now, we're pushing, 5 minutes already of dead time, and guys are just standing there, so let's make a decision and get rolling. And like you said, this discussion's been going on for at least 2 minutes after they watch video for a couple minutes.
I think I just read Coach Self's lips saying, let's go. Not loud enough for them to hear, but you can tell he's pacing and a little bit perplexed at the hold-up. Now we're going to see John Gaffney come over to say something to Bill, give him some kind of update. Bert Smith informs John Shire of something. And Tony Padilla goes back to the monitor.
Okay, they're calling the floor stands. There's a foul on number 6 for Duke. Number 1 for Kansas is ejected with a flagrant 2 technical foul.
Hunter Dickinson has been ejected from this game.
Duke will shoot 2 free throws and get the ball underneath the basket with 20 on the shot clock.
They have ruled that the kick was intentional, and Dickinson has been ejected from this game. The crowd has not heard this yet. You've heard it listening on the radio.
Oh my gosh, I would not. That wasn't even in my mindset that it was a ejection.
They're informing the public address announcer now. When he announces this to the crowd, you're going to hear a roar of both jubilation for Duke fans and boos and shock and awe for Kansas fans, as one of the best 2 players on either team has been ejected with 10:26 to go, and Bill Self is incensed. Here comes the announcement. They've not announced it yet. They announced the first foul. And there's the announcement of Dickinson being ejected. So Flory Bidunga, who's played a lot of AAU ball on the circuit with guys like Flagg and Knipple, he's going to be asked to give the biggest minutes of his young career as Dickinson is done for the day, and Kansas has to find some answers as Brown hits the first of 2 free throws following a flagrant 2 for what they deemed was an intentional kick above the shoulders to the head of Brown. Second free throw. KU's lead is 1.
Wow, I did not see that one coming. Wow, what a turn of events. And I mean, I could maybe justify a flagrant 1. And now, that's water under the bridge. How do you react? We talk about it all the time, and it's going to be Duke's ball.
Bill Self is stopping play to walk out and talk with John Gaffney right now, wanting a further explanation. Hunter Dickinson's just been kicked out of his own birthday party. One day after turning 24, he has to watch the final 10:26.
All right, look at KJ right there getting down, trying to implore his team to play through this. He's been the emotional leader all night. Mark this down, 10:26. Kansas up by 1 without the services of Hunter Dickinson.
Duke fans on their feet, smelling blood in the water to seize control of this game for good with no Hunter Dickinson the rest of the way. Brown out to James, back to Brown, tries to step through. KJ just ripped it away. What a play for KJ Adams. He has been unreal defensively. And now inside to Flory, and he's pushed from behind by James. A quick foul on Duke. That'll be their 5th as a team. And KU will keep clinging to a 1-point lead. Can they go the rest of the way without the big fella?
Can they? For sure. Can they pull out a win? That's the big question. And so far, defensively, did a nice job. KJ once again with the big defensive play to get the turnover. Now see what we can do on offense.
Get it into Adams.
They're going to get a hold on the other end, and these refs are starting to call it a little tighter to gain control of this game. And, you know, those, I said it before, you know, they don't say they make makeup calls, but those were 2 nickel dimers that were called on Duke.
They could call 10 in a row against the Blue Devils, and it wouldn't make up for rejecting KU's best player. Dickinson dejected right now as you see a blank stare on his face sitting on the Kansas bench. Get it into Bidunga, and then a reach-in foul on Brown for a 3rd straight whistle on Duke. And KU fans are applauding. I don't know that you want that, though, as that's going to be a 1-and-1 now for Flory Bidunga.
That's really 4 fouls in the last 25 seconds because you had the foul on Brown before, and now, like you said, in 30 seconds, we're in the bonus.
Flory is just a 50% free throw shooter, 4 of 8, and none of his free throws have been in a venue like this with stakes like this, a 1-point game between Kansas and Duke. It's a precarious front end for the left-handed shooter out of the Democratic Republic of Congo, but what do I know? Pure swish, he strokes it through.
Just like Atlanta, it was about this time of the game when KJ stepped up and started making free throws. Now Flory can be the guy.
He was very calm in that delivery. Can he do it again? Come on, big fella. Shoots. Hits. Pure swish. How about that? The numbers do lie. And Flory's fired up as KU's lead is 3. 9:48 to go. 59-56 Kansas. Storr guarding Knippel. Screen comes. He flings in the corner. Proctor for 3. Drilled it. Tie game. And again, it was over Zeke, who left his man on help defense. And Proctor has hit a 5th 3 of the game. You cannot leave him.
Yeah, that's all Knippel right there. He drew the defense, made Zeke.
KJ, a blow by a lob. Flory with a royal flush here in Vegas. He fires it down on the alley-oop finish. Yeah. My goodness, what a slam.
Yeah, KJ purposeful in the lane, drew 2 defenders, and knows he can throw it up to Flory.
Up the floor, and an even bigger dunk by Cooper Flagg, a right-hand poster. This heavyweight bout features 2 teams trading haymakers left and right. And now a reach-in on Proctor on Zeke Mayo, who was dribbling right side. This feels like March. This feels like a Final Four setting. Back and forth we go in a 61 all-time.
You're exactly right. It does feel like March. Back-to-back big-time dunks. Flory off the alley-oop, and then Cooper Flagg back on top of Flory. But Zeke Mayo go to the line for a 1-and-1 after the referees really are starting to call a much tighter game.
Zeke 3 of 6 from the field, 8 points, a pure swish on this free throw.
We're only 1 foul away from the double bonus. Great job by Flory, and now Zeke hit that front end.
Kansas 7 for 7 from the free throw line. Duke, though, has attempted twice as many free throws. Second free throw also good. Kansas 8 for 8. 2-point KU lead, 63-61.
You know, right now you got to really, DeJuan's got to stay on Tyrese Proctor. He has been the Jayhawk killer tonight with 5 threes.
The rest of their team is 5 of 15. Knippel, he misses on a 3. Long rebound. Proctor got away with a bad dribble there, and it's taken away by Kansas. Up the floor, Harris. Right hand flip shot, good. An alley-oop feed and an underhanded scoop for DeJuan.
How about the body control by DeJuan Harris mid-flight, adjusting. Thought he was going out of bounds, but he's able to get the pass from AJ and get an easy one for Kansas.
I mean, I know we're in Vegas, but that was David Copperfield-esque on the magic act by Harris. How did he pull that rabbit out of a hat? Here comes James, pass fake, shoots a 3, drilled it. And again, KU leaving Duke unguarded on the perimeter.
Well, you're leaving them unguarded because you're kind of going to Proctor and Knippel. They got a lot of weapons, especially when guys like James are hitting threes.
Only a 30% three-point shooter. Duke's cut it to 1. Mayo on a drive, shoots, misses. Rebound tipped about and out of bounds off of Duke. It'll stay with Kansas, and we'll get a timeout on the floor. Well, it's been almost 3 full minutes since Hunter Dickinson left the game, and Kansas still clinging to that same 1-point lead. Can they go the rest of the way, find a way to finish in front, losing their star on a flagrant 2 immediate ejection of Hunter Dickinson?
But I do like the way Kansas has responded. KJ's leading this group. DeJuan, it's the old guys, and got a couple turnovers, couple easy buckets. Now have the ball up by 1 when we come back. And you can cheer on the Jayhawks with Electric Park canned cocktails. Vodka soda available in 2 delicious flavors. Perfect for game days, made with Rieger's vodka.
And Jayhawk fans, get to Rally House today and shop the latest KU gear, including exclusive styles featuring your Kansas athletes. Shop Rally House in-store and online today. 65-64 Jayhawks. 7:40 to play here in Vegas on the Equity Bank Jayhawk Sports Network from Learfield.
Let's ask their parents a lot of questions.
Why can't people fly?
Gravity.
Is the moon really made of cheese?
Yep, cream cheese.
When can I move into a big kid's car seat?
For some questions, parents may not have the answer, but that's okay. They can't know everything, but knowing the right seat for their age and size will help protect them in a car crash. Find out more at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Where do babies come from?
Good luck, Dad. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song.
I love these nachos.
I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy.
What's your name?
You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, located right next to Park MGM and the Aria Hotel, home of the NHL's Vegas Golden Knights. Tonight, side of a heavyweight blue-blooded bout. 65-64 Kansas. Roundhouses to the jaw. Haymakers thrown left and right. Just when we had the royal flush dunk by Bidunga on one end, Cooper Flagg says, I see your alley-oop jam, and I will raise you a right-hand poster unlike you have ever seen.
Yeah, he sure did. He went right through the body of Flory, but you see what Kansas can get set up here out of the timeout. Bill Self, a master of after timeout, easy looks. Gonna throw something up to KJ.
But it's broken up and intercepted by the guy with a 7'5" wingspan.
Well, what happened was it looked open, but then he got bumped offline, and that was an easy interception.
Father Watch on the steal. Duke with the ball, trailing by one. Knipple wide open for three, misses again. Rebound Bidunga. Knipple is 0 for 7 from beyond the arc, and normally their best three-point shooter.
And that was as good a look as you could hope for right there.
Second best by percentage. They get it into KJ. Out towards Zeke. Screen comes, steps through. Picked up his dribble. Couldn't shoot it over Malawach, so he throws off. Now Bidunga fumbles a pass from KJ. It's taken away by Proctor. Up the floor, Knipple. Not looking to shoot in the midst of his slump, so he drives inside. Muscles one up that misses, but a foul on A.J. Storr, and their best free throw shooter will go to the line to try to give Duke the lead with 6:52 to play.
And on the other end, Flory was about to get a dunk, and he just fumbled the pass, and that led to the transition opportunity and more than likely a Duke lead.
Knipple, 9 of 10 from the free throw department coming into this game. A 90% foul shooter here tonight, 2 for 2. First of 2 this time is good, and he's tied the game at 65 all. Rylan Griffin checking in for AJ. Obviously, Rylan had that ill-advised 3 at the end of the first half that led to a 5-point swing. What does he need to do to settle down and settle in? He's just not looked comfortable.
Maybe get something at the rim, maybe drive the ball, get to the free throw line, just something positive. He's too good of a player to be out of it mentally. You're going to have a lane violation.
On Duke, and the free throw missed from Knipple, who missed just 1 his whole career, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway because the teammate was in the lane. So actually, it doesn't count as a miss.
Probably helps him.
Yeah, 65 all, we're tied, 6:49 to play. Harris to walk it across the timeline. It's Harris, Griffin, Adams, Mayo, and Bidunga, your 5 on the floor. Zeke throws off to Dewan, right side. 12 to shoot for Kansas. Harris waiting on a screen from KJ. Dribbles right side, tight ropes the baseline, kicks out to Griffin, fades, fires, misses. Rebound Flory amidst 3 Blue Devils. He comes up with the ball, and then a reach-in foul is going to be called on Cooper Flagg.
How about that? There was 1 blue jersey in the lane, and that was Flory against 3 Duke Blue Devils. He comes down with it. He'll go to the line for our 1. He just made a couple a few minutes ago, but what a great job on the offensive glass after the miss by Griffin.
And who would have thought that Bidunga's stats would be just as good, if not better, than Cooper Flagg's stats? Both McDonald's All-Americans, but pretty sizable gap between the perceived number 1 and number 9 or 10. Free throw here. Hits the back iron and misses. Rebound, Cooper Flagg. Flagg's got 8 points, 3 rebounds, 3 turnovers. In the case of Bidunga, 6 points, 6 boards, 4 turnovers, 1 block. Duke with the ball. 65 all are Flagg being guarded by KJ. Screen comes at the top. He picks up his dribble and passes off to Proctor. Now he gets it right back. 8 to shoot. Knipple calling for the ball right side. Passes inside. Cooper turns and dunks. Wow, that was a drop step and a two-hand throwdown. And Flagg getting it done at the rim on a night when otherwise he's been very quiet offensively. Timeout, Kansas.
Yeah, you do pretty good defensively. They got it down under 10 on the shot clock. And just a little ball screen drop step, like you said. He didn't even put the ball on the ground. And so athletic, got all the way to the rim. Bill Self with a quick timeout to gather the troops after the front end miss by Flory.
You're just joining us. Kansas led by as many as 13 in the first half. It was just a 2-point game at halftime. Hawks were in control for much of the first 7 or 8 minutes of the second half, but then Hunter Dickinson ejected on a flagrant 2. There was a scrum for the ball after he hit the deck with Malik Brown, and apparently they ruled that he intentionally kicked Brown the side of the head.
We got a pretty good angle of it, and obviously there was contact, and they deemed it to be intentional. It looked like legs were flailing, but they probably had better looks than we did.
So no Dickinson for the last 5 minutes of this game, and Kansas has gone from up 1 to down 2. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Jayhawk Basketball. KU with the ball, trailing by 2. We're down to 5:38 to play here in Vegas. Harris crossing over, blows by Flagg, kicks it out to Griffin, dials up a 3. This time he hits! Rylan Griffin rips the cords from the left wing, and KU in front by 1.
And that's why you keep Rylan Griffin on the floor. He's an elite shooter, and he just showed it there.
He had struggled all night on both ends, but what a huge bucket. Now Flagg on the other side, guarded by Mayo. He attacks, shoots, misses, knocked out of bounds by Duke. It's going to be KU ball as Malik Brown knocked it away.
And Zeke got lined up with the much taller, about 6-inch advantage to Cooper Flagg, but he was strong. He got his elbow into him, forced him into a little baby hook, and he front rimmed it.
Yeah, Cooper Flagg turned around and realized it was Zeke and not KJ.
Yes.
And his eyes got as big as a kid on Christmas morning. As big as Steve Kincaid at the blackjack tables last night, getting straight face cards. Here's Griffin, throws left corner for Harris, nearly lost it out of bounds.
What a catch by DeJuan Harris. That was about to be a turnover.
Screen comes from Flory. Harris crossing over, weaves in, kicks out. Griffin, another 3. Missed it front iron, and the rebound to Duke. That one from the right corner, just a little bit off.
But that was some good action right there. DeJuan on the left side, the screen on the right side. Got a pretty good look by a guy who just hit one.
KU by a single point with 4:25 to go. They hang on without Dickinson. Duke in the corner. James cutting across the paint. Proctor another 3. Misses this time. Rebound Bidunga. And KU dodged a bullet on just the second 3-point miss of the night by Tyrese Proctor.
But a good job by Rylan getting a hand up. Changed that just enough to force the miss. Now Kansas with the lead and the ball.
4 minutes to play. 68-67 Kansas. Hawks weaving around the perimeter. Mayo guarded by Proctor out front.
This is where Zeke needs to go to work now.
Screen comes from Flory. Zeke crosses over, had it poked loose by Brown. 3 to shoot. Does he realize he shoots? Misses short. Rylan's got it though and saves it ahead to Harris. KU will keep. Zeke crossing over, leans in on Cooper, picks up his dribble, out to Rylan. He shoots. He scores! And the foul! It's a blocking foul on Flagg and an and 1 coming for Rylan Griffin.
What a play by Rylan Griffin. Shot fake, got all the way to the rim. They were in the restricted area. Get the and 1. He got the offensive rebound to keep that possession going. What a couple of minutes by Rylan Griffin, who persevered after a bonehead play at the end of the first half, and he's been the star of this second half.
The play at the end of the half we said was a 5-point swing, and it was such a head-scratcher. I'm told that even Jay Williams at the ESPN desk back in the studio, a Duke guy, by the way, started by talking about that play on the halftime show. But as you said, he was able to put it behind him in the rearview mirror, move past it, and these last couple of sequences, as good as we've seen from Griffin in a Kansas uniform.
Yeah, that's what life's all about. That's what basketball's all about. How do you deal with adversity? Do you sit on the end of the bench, feel sorry for yourself, knowing you made a mistake? Or do you come back out, hit a big three, get an offensive rebound, and now have an opportunity to give Kansas back a 4-point lead?
We got a timeout on the floor, 3:33 to go. Kansas up 70-67 with a free throw pending for Griffin when we come back. A 67% foul shooter is Rylan Griffin. It's the Equity Bank Jayhawks Sports Network from Learfield.
When a KU versus K-State rivalry game begins, emotions run high. Legends are created. School pride hangs in the balance. Memories that last a lifetime will be made. Because each game is the most important game in history. At least until the next one. Get in the game with your chance to win up to $50,000. The Rivalry Riches instant ticket from the Kansas Lottery. See kslottery.com for details.
Do you have a reason to smile? If you have healthy teeth, you definitely do. And if you're covered by Delta Dental of Kansas, you have another reason to smile. Delta Dental of Kansas has many fabulous dental insurance coverage plans with a range of options to fit your life. You decide what you need. The whole process is so super easy. Plus, Delta Dental has the largest network of dentists in the entire nation. Yep, another reason to smile. Go to deltadentalks.com and click on Shop for Insurance to get started.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, this is Scott Pollard, and you're listening to Kansas Jayhawk Basketball on the Jayhawk Sports Network.
Welcome back to T-Mobile Arena. We've referenced several times the hockey home of the Golden Knights, and we're sitting on a basketball court on top of the ice. You can feel how cold the floor is, but that's not all this venue hosts. They also host a lot of boxing matches and UFC fights. And this thing tonight, as we've said a couple of times, has felt like a heavyweight bout with prize fighters exchanging blows. Not literally, but the back and forth nature of this game. One roundhouse landed here, another left hook there. Who's going to land the last blow?
And that's why you play these games. That's what's so great about basketball in November and December, non-conference ball. Rylan makes the and one to give Kansas a 4-point lead, but obviously I'm the ultimate optimist. I think Kansas is going to win. They've got it in them right now, and they're playing with a chip because of what happened to Hunter.
They can hang on. I cannot wait to hear that post-game interview with Bill Self. Must listen either way. Here's a lob. Deep catch. Easy dunk underneath. Maluach with the deep catch, and he cuts the deficit in half.
It was a slow, arcing pass, and Rylan Griffin almost picked it off, but when he didn't, that allowed for an easy bucket.
2-point KU lead. Hawks with the ball with 3 minutes to play. Mayo driving on Proctor, gets airborne, misses, rebound flag, all that length from Maluach.
There was a ton of contact down lows. I think it was a clean block up top, but did not get the call. Now Duke can tie it up and take the lead.
Kansas by 2, but Duke with the ball. Knipple clearing space with the right forearm. Zeke guarding him. Screen comes from Maluach. Flory breaks it up and knocks it into the backcourt. They say off of Bidunga. It'll stay with Duke, and Knipple shaking his head as if he thought there'd be a whistle for a foul. 2:37 to go. Kansas by 2. Duke with the ball. Each team with 2 timeouts remaining. Cooper Flag being guarded by KJ, looking to drive on him. Gets airborne, shoots, and banks it in on the run with the left hand. Tie game with 71-71 the score, 2:24 to play.
Yeah, you want to know why he's going to be the #1 pick in the NBA draft? Right there.
KJ on the other end, now guarded by Flagg himself. Out to Harris. They switch defensively, and James picks up Adams. Screen comes from Flory. Zeke with the ball. 8 to shoot. Kansas trying to break this tie. Harris down to 5 to shoot. Tight ropes the baseline. Out to Mayo to beat the buzzer. Got it off and got it to go. What a bucket. It hung up on the rim twice and finally fell through.
He got it off right before the buzzer. What a big bucket by Zeke Mayo.
73-71 Kansas, 1:40 to go. Flagg in the lane, turns, shoots, misses, but a foul on KJ. And Cooper Flagg can tie the game from the free throw line with 1:38 to play.
And that's a freshman getting senior calls right there. You know, Zeke doesn't get the call on the other end that time. Cooper got it. A little bit of body by KJ Adams, and they've been bodying all day. I mean, it's been a battle, but Cooper Flagg can now tie it up with a couple of free throws.
He's not a sure thing, though. He's 1 of 2 tonight from the free throw line. He entered at 74%, so a good foul shooter, but not elite, and he misses the first off the heel. He has 12 points tonight, 5 rebounds, 3 turnovers, a far cry from his typical 18 and 9. One more coming. Kansas up 2 with 1:38 to play. Flagg, right-handed shooter, swishes it in, and it's a 1-point KU lead. So how about this Jayhawk team? It's been now almost 9 full minutes since Dickinson was ejected, and the margin is exactly what it was after the flagrant free throws with Dickinson on the bench.
Yeah, now they just got to finish.
90 seconds to play. Kansas by 1. Harris with the ball on the string, driving across the baseline area, curls out, throws off to KJ, who promptly gives it right back. 12 to shoot for KU. Harris crossing over, out to KJ, 15-footer, barely got to the rim. Rebound Flory. KU will keep. KJ misses, gets his own rebound. And what's the call? Out of bounds off Duke. What an offensive rebound by Flory Bidunga.
Yeah, they're going to replay it as we're under 2 minutes. Kind of looked like it might have been off of KJ, but right now there's going to have to be a lot of evidence to turn it over. Let's take a look here on the big board.
The out-of-bounds play is
He got fouled, number 1.
Oh, and then off the shoulder and then off the hand of KJ. This is going to be Duke ball. But you're right, there should have been a foul on Knipple. It's definitely off the hand of KJ. So Duke fans reacting to what they feel will very clearly be their ball with 1:07 to play, and Kansas clinging to a 1-point lead. As good as Adams has been tonight, and he has been, as I said earlier, otherworldly, those were his first 2 misses of the whole game. And while the first shot maybe seemed in rhythm, the second one felt a little rushed.
Yeah, and he had a lot of success all night with that mid-ranger, but you're exactly right. Should have brought that out. You had the ball. You had 20 seconds on the shot clock. Didn't need that one. Now, can't fault him for doing it because he's given everything tonight, but hindsight 2020 would have told him to pull that out. I do believe it's going to be Duke ball. They're still looking at it, but man, it sure looked like it was off KJ. And Bert Smith didn't have a great angle. He called it the way he thought, but I think with video review, if this was at the 2-on-1 mark, it'd be our ball.
How about Flory keeping that possession alive, reaching over the top of the Duke defender for the offensive rebound? What a difference the season makes in having that kind of backup 5-man. If Kansas would have had Dickinson ejected at this juncture a year ago, he just wouldn't have had that same punch coming off the bench.
Yeah, and what they might do, because there's a lot of discussion, are they going to say that it was mutually knocked out and they go to the jump ball?
Which would be Kansas on the arrow.
The call on the floor has been reversed. It'll be Duke ball on the baseline.
It's going to be Duke ball. We just got word.
So put 1:08 on the game clock.
They're going to add a second to the game clock, but they're going to give Duke the ball. And Bill's asking, how does he not get fouled there? And he's exactly right, but that is not reviewable.
They said you ejected our first-team All-American 10 minutes ago, and then you overlook an obvious foul on Knipple before it was knocked out by KJ. But Kansas has gotten some calls as well.
Yeah, overall, I think this crew's done a really good job of calling a very difficult game. Now, like I said, there's going to be bad both ways, and it's pretty much evened out. Now you got to just shut all that out and understand that you got to get stops and scores right now.
Kansas by 1 with 1:08 to play. Both Bill Self and John Shire have 2 timeouts remaining. Cooper Flagg will play it in.
And more than likely, they're going to get a Con Knipple and Cooper Flagg 2-man game. That's been what has really gotten Cooper Flagg going this half.
Knipple being guarded by Mayo, collects the pass at the head of the circle. Screen comes from Flagg. Knipple fakes on a 3, enters into Cooper, guarded by Zeke. Fumble the ball! KU's got it! Deja vu all over again for Cooper Flagg.
He did that twice in the final 20 seconds versus Kentucky, and there he goes again. Now Kansas thought they might try to get a 2-for-1. They won't get it now.
Harris at the top, flings in the corner to KJ. Wasn't going to shoot a 3, so he wisely kicks out to Zeke. 10 to shoot, Hawks by 1, 27 seconds to play. Zeke steps through, fakes, shoots, misses, rebound tipped about. Duke's got it, 20 seconds to play. Here comes Duke, Flagg down the floor. Proctor calling for the ball and a timeout taken by Shire. He can draw it up with 14.2 seconds to go. Kansas is going to have to get a stop to preserve this 1-point lead, and it comes down to the age-old question. What kind of basketball team do you have? Do you have the type of team that would rather have the ball down 1, needing a bucket to win it? Or do you want to be the physically and mentally tough team that would rather have the lead but need to deliver a defensive stop? That's the kind of team that Bill Self has prided himself on building over the years. And is this that team?
Yeah, and that's what he's got to sell right now to his guys. Got to play good, solid defense without fouling, because Duke would be in the bonus with any type of foul. You don't have Hunter Dickinson in there, but you do have a great shot blocker in Flory Badunga. And do you bring a double team? There's so many things that come into a situation like this. If Cooper Flagg gets it in the post, you don't let him beat you, so you probably bring the double. And he's shown the propensity to turn the ball over.
No doubt. As we just said, deja vu all over again, going back to the Champions Classic late game moment.
And Bill Self does have a couple of timeouts. See if they look at what, they always do that when they come out in the set. We'll see if he does that or if he tries to save them.
How long before Duke attacks?
Well, that's a great question, because if they miss, they want to turn it into a free throw contest, so probably pretty quick. They don't want to just hold for the last shot. I bet you they get something up on the rim in the next 6-7 seconds. There's DeJuan Harris and KJ bringing together 3 new guys with the 2 veterans, and kind of, hey, we got to will ourselves to this win. 1 stop and let's get out of here and enjoy some turkey.
Those other 3 new guys are Bidunga, Griffin, and Mayo, along with Adams and Harris. James to play it in for Duke. 14.2 seconds to go. Kansas by 1. Proctor with the ball. Off to Knipple between the rings. We're down to 7 seconds. Knipple driving on KJ. Spins, shoots. Blocked by Bidunga. KU's got the ball.
They didn't even get a shot. It was a... Ryland Griffin got it. It's a foul on Duke. Kansas will have 2 free throws. Defense converged and forced Knipple into a wild attempt that didn't even get it up on the rim.
Deflected by Bidunga.
Yep.
Deflected to Ryland Griffin, who was immediately fouled. I'm not sure if he was shooting or passing there, was Knipple. But Kansas, if they hit their free throws, would go up 3, and Duke would need a half-court type game-tying.
And what will happen is if he makes both the free throws, you'll probably see Bill Self call a timeout and decide whether or not they're going to foul. So first things first, Ryland Griffin, they didn't adjust the clock at all. 3 seconds. This is a double bonus for Ryland Griffin.
What a defensive stand for Kansas. What a coming-of-age moment for Flory Bidunga. First free throw for Griffin. Good, pure swish. Ryland Griffin, straight butter in the crunch time moment here. He shot 81% from the foul stripe a year ago at Alabama.
Bill Self just looked at everyone and said, hey, just get a hand up. It doesn't appear that he's going to call a timeout. They're going to get Mason Gillis in the game for James. They're going to leave Malawatch in there, which is kind of surprising because they're probably going to need a 3. He does have a timeout. Zeke Mayo just looked at Flory and said, no fouls. They did add a little time, 3.3 on the clock.
Free throw good. So the best Duke can do is tie. Of course, whenever you think of Duke, And this little time on the clock, you think of Christian Laettner. They throw it down the floor, you catch and fire.
We don't want to think about that one. Bill Self, like I thought, calls the timeout. He's going to make a decision on what he's going to do. 3.3 on the clock. This isn't the NBA, so they got to go 94 feet. So you try to make them catch it in front of you with your back to their basket, and obviously don't foul in a shot attempt, and that's what they'll try. But if they do dribble it, a couple dribbles, you take the foul.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, why give him a chance to tie it? Obviously, in the 2008 title game, Coach Calipari at Memphis wanted his team to foul. They didn't. Chalmers hit the game-tying three. How about the 2022 title game when Self was in this huddle asking his guys what they wanted to do?
And after about 5 minutes of talking, and Jalen Wilson and Ochai and all the veterans said, you know what, let's don't foul. And he goes, all right, just ignore the last 5 minutes, don't foul, and let's go have a party.
So there's two ways to go about it. Let's see what Kansas elects to do, but there's going to be 3.3 seconds for Duke. If the Jayhawks hang on, officially this would be 4 wins in the last 5. Unofficially, it would be 5 in the last 6 because the 2008 game has been vacated. But what a run they've had under Bill Self versus Duke.
Yeah, and it's all come down to defense. I mean, these last 2 possessions where this group have converged on Cooper Flagg and Con Knipple and forced turnovers. So right now, we saw it the other night in the Connecticut game against Memphis. Penny Hardaway decided not to foul, and Connecticut tied it up. Memphis went on to win, but we'll see how much, as you watch, we all watch basketball, Bill and the coaches were in the team room, they all watch it, so it looks like Kansas won't be anybody in the backcourt at all. KJ on Cooper Flagg, Zeke Mayo on Con Knipple.
Gillis to play it in. Fires it to midcourt, and a timeout taken immediately by Knipple on the completed pass just across midcourt. It only took 0.4 of a second off the clock. So they get it to midcourt, and now they got some options to get in position for a game-tying 3. That was excellent execution and a perfect touchdown pass. Gillis to Knipple, 46 feet down the floor.
Bill just had a long talk with John Gaffney, not sure what about, but only 0.4 ran off the clock. So now on the sideline here, they got an opportunity to set something up and catch and fire pretty quick. Now, you're not going to get an offensive rebound, so you might have to take a couple dribbles, and if you do, somebody needs to hit them.
Yeah. If I hit him, you mean foul him.
Correct, sorry.
Let's be careful. We've already had one ejection tonight. If you're just joining us, you've missed a ton. Flagrant 2 immediate ejection of Hunter Dickinson. That came at the 10:26 mark here in the second half. KU was up by 1 after the flagrant free throws were shot. They're up by 3 right now. What a gutty effort to take this thing to the finish line without their first team all the way.
Watch this, kind of a football play. All 4 Duke guys are at their free throw line, and looks like they're going to run some kind of a football play here. Kansas trying to figure out what they're going to do, like 4 D-backs.
They sprint up the floor football style. James to play it in. Looking. Can't find anybody. Gets it into the big fella. Knipple for the tie. It misses. And KU wins. The Jayhawks survive the loss of Dickinson and grind it out in the end. You can rock. Chalk it up. The Jayhawks win 75-72. The blue-blooded battle goes to Kansas.
He got a pretty good look, and off the glass, it hit a lot of the rim, almost down a little bit, but it kind of like Grayson Allen's shot in 2018. It just rimmed out, and Kansas goes on to defeat the Blue Devils, move to 6-0, and retain the #1 ranking in the country. What a ball game here tonight.
As the Jayhawks rejoice with the KU fight song, the party's about to get underway here on the Strip. Capacity 20,000. I bet we had 12,000 Jayhawks here tonight, and they go home with their chests puffed out proudly and smiles from ear to ear. Duke fans stunned.
You know what I love right now? Q, Shaq, KJ, everybody's all over Rylan Griffin because they know how important he was after the play he made at the end of the first half, then to hit the 3, to get the and 1, to get the rebound with 3 seconds to go and make both free throws that made it no worse than a tie if Duke were to knock one down. So give a ton of credit to Rylan Griffin here tonight.
Especially in light of how the first half ended, the perseverance to overcome that. It's just such great maturity and poise on his part. What a win for Kansas. You know, I don't get into the ESPN win probability metrics, but I think if you could set a metric on KU's chances after Dickinson was ejected with 10:26 to go, it wouldn't have looked that great. You're only up 1 at the time. You just lost a first-team All-American, but they find a way. And so right now, as Commissioner Brett Yormark daps up Bill Self and gives him a big hug as well. Big moment for Kansas, big moment for the Big 12 Conference, but overcoming losing your All-American shows a lot about the heart, the grit, and the toughness of the rest of these Jayhawks and gives you a lot of high hopes for the next 4 months.
Well, we've seen it in our 3 big tests, which are North Carolina, Michigan State, and now Duke. We've established big leads, we've given them up, and how do we fight back? And all 3 of them, after having a lead and getting down, we've won all 3 of them. And that's without, like you said, Hunter Dickinson. I think the one thing about losing him that wasn't as big of a deal was the fact that Hunter wasn't playing very well. He was 4 of 11 from the field, only had 6 rebounds, and Flory came in. And what a moment, what a half for Flory to grow in these types of situations. And, you know, he made those free throws. He got big offensive rebounds. He got the block at the end. But it takes a village, and they did exactly that.
A coming-of-age game for sure for Flory Bidunga. And how about KJ Adams? I mean, his defense throughout on Cooper Flagg was brilliant. His performance on both ends, honestly, until those last couple of misses in the final 2 minutes, he was outstanding. DeJuan Harris at times looked like as impactful a player as any on the floor. So, I'm sorry, Furman, Seattle. You got your work cut out for you. That's the game that follows Kansas Duke. We've set the bar awfully high, and I'm not sure how many will stick around to watch the nightcap.
Feast week.
But I'll tell you what.
It doesn't disappoint, does it?
Our cup runneth over on Feast Week with Duke, Kansas. KU wins at 75-72. Stay tuned. Our post-game coverage comes your way next. Who's Greg Gurley going to pick for player of the game? So many options. Not an easy